and welcome to Wrasslecast, what is now technically number 6, with myself, Pete the Metalhead, and my lovely co-host,
me, obviously Dolphin Raven. Now, this is going to be a quick recap from last week, because we had technical issues, which was for the dates of... I think it's the dates of the 12th and the 16th. We did record it, but unfortunately due to technical problems we lost it. We didn't want to go through it again. So, before this UK WWE Wrestlecast podcast starts, we're going to spend 15 minutes, probably less, just quickly running through the main points of Raw and SmackDown, which was on the 12th and the 16th. Those are the right dates. I'm getting that right? The 12th and the 16th? Those are the ones that fucked up?
I think you're
they are. Hang on. Yeah, because the UK one was the 23rd. Yeah, which was... Yes, it was. Yes, the 19th and 12th. Yeah. So... Yes. Right. Okay. So this was the week before they came to London or the UK, whatever. So we're just going to quickly just run through it. So recap, logo, or whatever is across the screen now. Whatever Jack's decided to put on the editing of the process of the video. So this is Raw on the 12th. Basically, the Raw starts off with the Shield. They come out all angry, blah, 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 blah. They all talk on the mic. We see Evolution. They're backstage. They come out the limousines. Roman says they're going to hunt them. We then see when they arrive, the Shield run out the ring, and they basically just go and jump Evolution and shit like that. So that's that one done. We had RVD vs Swagger, which wasn't bad. Paige vs Fox wasn't bad. Excuse me. Right, so the main thing on Raw was Daniel Bryan. Now, this Daniel Bryan promo was basically him saying that he has to have neck surgery, and he has already had neck surgery. And we'll probably go through that again anyway. He's had he's had successful neck surgery, so he basically went on saying that he's got to take time off because he's got neck surgery that following Thursday, and he doesn't really say much. You can tell with his voice that he's quite depressed about it, quite beaten about it, Goes on to say that he probably, that he will be back and, gets everyone chanting yes, yes, yes. Now, from what reports have said, he's out for a minimum to 4 to 6 weeks. And that is obviously a bugger in itself, realistically, But, I mean, unfortunately, these things happen. Daniel Bryan's worked so hard to get there, unfortunately. It sucks, doesn't it, really, when you think about it? It really does suck.
Mm-hmm.
So.
It's been a fucking hell of a month for Daniel Bryan,
Yeah.
Finally gets the big push at WrestleMania, fucking marries Brie Bella,
yeah.
And then fucking double gut punch, fucking his father unfortunately passes away, and then fucking neck problems.
Neck problems, when you think about it, it's just like, wow, man. He won the big one, like you said, he won the big one at WrestleMania, which no one thought he was going to win. I'll hold my hand on my heart, I didn't honestly think he was going to win that. I wanted him to win, but I didn't know. Yeah, then he had the marriage and the dad, and now this neck surgery, which I'm worried about now, because this is quite a serious injury for a wrestler. We all know how Edge retired, and let's hope it's not the same. Quickly moving on. But apparently the surgery was fine and successful, and now we just played the waiting game. So we had Cena at the Usos and the Wyatt family, which was a good match. Nikki Bella and Natalya, or Brie Bella and Natalya, whatever one it was. Not going into that. Sheamus versus Axl Rose and Ryback. Sheamus and Axl Rose was over right away, but what I want to talk about is Sheamus and Ryback. I was going to say Ryback, Sheamus and Ryback. This was a good match. This was a fantastic match, and we spoke about this in when we was actually filming it. I enjoyed this match.
Yeah.
I thought it was good. I thought it was solid working. It was enjoyable considering it was Ryback, and not a lot of people enjoy Ryback's matches, but yeah, these two definitely impressed me on Raw. That week, and they should definitely go to a pay-per-view. They should go to bloody Payback and do another match. They really should. So, but yeah. So that was that. What we got here. Afterwards, Steph comes out to the ring, talks about deep brain surgery happening next week on Thursday. She asks him. She says she's got something to tell to his face. Come down to the ring. Kane comes out, dragging him along the floor, and you can see Daniel Bryan kind of pushing his leg kind of along the floor, which is a bit odd. Kane leaves him on the ramp. He jiffers off. Medics take him back to the thing. And then Stephanie say, "I'm so sorry, Brie," and Brie pushes her and says, "Back the fuck up, bitch." Obviously she didn't say that, she just says back off, but there we go. Ziggler and Fandango, again, quite a good match. We said about not seeing Fandango versus Tina Morella in 4 years now, maybe, or what it feels like that. Hacksaw Jim Duggan comes out. Oh, Plugs Legends house, of course. Lana and Rusev come out. Rusev grabs the 2x4, breaks it over his knee, and Big E Langston comes out, which was amazing to see. Rusev dominates Big E Langston, brutally super kicks him in the face, but this was good. This might be setting up funny for Rusev to start taking on higher mid-carders now, like Big E Langston, so that I was actually like, that's quite good.
But unfortunately, I have to chime in with a dirt sheet alert. I've read, it's a dirt sheet, it's pure opinion, we don't know. But I've read apparently the scuppering Big E versus Rusev.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which like you said, dirt sheet I've read, it's probably, it could be false, but that's what I've read. It's a shame.
Yeah, well, then again, to be fair, this week on Raw in the UK, they didn't do anything with either one of those. I mean, Rusev just basically crushed someone else. Oh, that sucks. I was really looking forward to that. But, it might be true, it might not be, but alright. Well, yeah, you actually read a bit of news before I did there, so yeah.
Yay.
So, yay. So we move on to Sandal Cody Rhodes. That was alright again. Cody doing more heel turning, Sandal basically losing, going. He's basically a jobber now, which is just basically like every time Sandal shows up to the arena, they just basically spread him and then kick him in the groin and then go do his thing pretty much. And then he goes on the mic saying, "I'll do what I want, I'll do what I say," and it's a very be quiet. That's a very CM Punk kind of thing. With that, Wyatt's cut to a promo saying that it'll be Bray Wyatt and John Cena in the last man standing match at Payback, which I think is absolutely good. Anything can be better than that bloody cage match they had at Extreme Rules. So we cut to the main event, which was Roman Reigns and Batista. I'm sorry, I'm saying all this. Did you want to say anything about this? I've just noticed I'm saying all of this. Oh
no, one strange thing about last week, with the unfortunate of the podcast we recorded getting messed up and lost. Not that much happened, apart from Dee Bryan's neck surgery and stuff. Yeah. And strange enough, we managed to squeeze out a full hour of podcast.
Yeah, well, this is just.
Well, we almost did. Still,
exactly.
The unfortunate technical problems.
Yeah, but this is, like I said, we're recapping it just for last week, just to make up for it, because obviously we couldn't have to go through it again. So I'm just saying I was going through it all on my own. I just wondered if you wanted to butt in, but it was just all good. So we move on. Roman Reigns and Batista as the main event. What could have been a good match, was just obviously shit. Good match to start, and of course Evolution just getting, attacking, the reference ringing the bell. Hang on, wait, be quiet. So it's all Evolution, Shield again, all attacking each other like they usually is. Oh, excuse me. Stephanie comes down, she sends down some wrestlers, but Michael Cole said it was like the entire locker room. Obviously it wasn't, it was just 10 heels working that night. Brodus Clay was there. They all basically keep down Roman Reigns. He breaks out, ends up spearing Triple H and shit. He takes out all of them. He pretty much, they basically clean house. The Shield do moves on chairs. Fandango takes Dean's headlock on a chair. Seth Rollins stomps Curtis Axel's face into the chair as well. So that was a good moment. So Raw that week ended with the Shield going over very strong. So sorry, these birds won't be quiet. So sorry for all the listeners. I'm trying to get them to be quiet, but they can't. So yeah. So that was Raw. So it wasn't too bad. It wasn't exactly the best thing ever. It wasn't too bad, but it did have some good chair finish at the end. And again, obviously, the Shield progressing, because it's obviously been Evolution 1 week, Shield this week, Evolution 1 week, Shield this week. It's always been that continuous pattern. So let's move on to SmackDown 16:05:14. This will be even shorter. So essentially, SmackDown starts out with the Rhodes Brothers and Usos. That was probably the best match of the night. Bo Dallas promo for next week, more War recaps. John Cena comes out responding to Bray Wyatt's promo and says to his offer for Payback. He says that you're on, and then Bray Wyatt says you shouldn't understand him. El Torito versus Heath Slater, which I'm not even going to discuss that because I couldn't believe we even discussed that last week. Natalya versus Brie Bella, which is meh. Dolph Ziggler versus Batista, which again was a short match. So. Segment shown was some commentator, which meets Adam Rose. Adam Rose gets a huge pop, ends up plugging lemons and rosebuds, and then puts a wig on the commentator, and they go in the bus. Sandal versus Cena, Tina Morella, which ends again in pretty much 1 second match. Truth versus Cesaro, which was not too bad. They worked really well, but again, short match. Pretty much, SmackDown that week was filled with fucking short matches. Literally, the last 4 matches towards the end were literally all over in 2 minutes, So, SmackDown 16th for the 5th, 2014 was fucking terrible. And then it ends with Cena and Eric Rowan, which was, again, a fantastic match. But again, they get interference on the Usos and the Wyatts, but it ends with Super Cena coming back, hits the FU in a room. Bray Wyatt goes to stop him, but the Usos stop him. So there we go. So that was the WrestleCast podcast catch up for the 12th of for the 12th of Raw and the 12th of Raw and the 16th of SmackDown. So yeah,
London.
Right, well, we finally caught up on our unfortunate missed week from last week. Now we're going to go on to Raw Live London this week, and there's a certain somebody around here who actually attended this event, didn't they, Raven?
Yes, we did. Yes, so this was Raw and SmackDown in the United Kingdom in London. Both Raw the 19th, Raw the 19th, and what was the other one? And SmackDown the 23rd were both filmed in London. So I was only at Raw, not SmackDown, because if you've ever been to a Raw event, you'll see how obscene the fucking ticket prices are. So yeah, I think I ended up paying 80 quid, and that's me and Michelle. So yeah, so we're gonna start with Raw and SmackDown in the UK. So this is a WWE WrestleCast podcast UK edition. And before we start, I'm going to apologise for these birds because I really can't make them stop talking. And hopefully during the editing process you'll be able to tune that out a little bit. So yeah,
hopefully.
So yeah, and at the end of this I might have some videos that I did record during Raw. There was some good dark scenes as well at the end of Raw as well, which unfortunately I couldn't get. So yeah, so I actually put in the comments, and hang on 2 minutes, stop. So we kick off Raw with the Wyatts in the ring, and you don't even really see him make an entrance really. They're just in the ring, and then he just cuts to them straight. He's singing, he's got the whole world in his hands, and everyone's singing it again, and you can see everyone with their phones up, and they're doing like the lights. It looks really cool. It looks like something when you were a kid and you sit back and you look at the planetarium. It looks like something a bit like that. So.
Yeah, that was something magic. That I mean, I'm just going off what I saw on TV, but you were actually there, weren't you? I mean, what was it like?
It was
seeing all them lights.
It was quite freaky, to be honest. I mean, not freaky in a way, but it was a great atmosphere to see. Like, I mean, it looks better from the TV perspective because you see all the lights, but when you're looking around and the singing, it literally was like being in one of those planetariums, but a Bray Wyatt version and with a song. You know, it was so cool. It was so cool. So it goes on about Payback and the upcoming Payback match with the upcoming Payback match with Last Man Standing. He went on about he had a teacher in school which treated him like shit or whatever, and the teacher basically called him evil. The teacher called me evil, and he looked in my eye. You know, this was just awesome promo. Again, he pulls down the eye, and how it turned out. I called him evil and how it turned out, and he went on how he turned out better than her because he has the whole world in his hand, and that'll be his payback. Bray says that a payback he's going to end this so-called fairy tale. Now he said end the so-called fairy tale, so I don't know what that means. What is this the end of the Bray Wyatt Cena feud at Payback? Unless he's just talking in riddles, I don't know. But he did say he's going to end this fairy tale, so I don't know if that's.
Yeah, I reckon it'll be end of the feud because, to be honest, it feels if they carry on anymore, it'll get a stale. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe. They've
had one match each one, so this can be the decider. You know. But because Bray Wyatt's his work's amazing and shit, and he's making Cena look good. But
I mean,
but it's been going on since February. So.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about it, I suppose it has been going on for quite a while. And it's ending on what possibly could be a good match. I mean, it is a good match, last man standing match. So, I suppose when Bray says, he's going to end the fairy tale, then maybe he's ended it, and we're just hoping that John Cena's not been put in now, because obviously that, Brian will probably be stripped now, and now we're hopefully not going to put Cena in the title run again, so I hope they don't. So.
Well, I've heard, again, on the same dirt sheet I read about Biggie Langston and whatnot, the idea might be to put it in a ladder match, Money in the Bank. I don't know how true it is, but the dirt sheet said it would be the idea would be they'll have two Money in the Bank ladder matches, so one will be have the title inside the briefcase, and the other one will have a Money in the Bank contract. So like whoever, then they'll have 2 matches, and whoever obviously they'll grab a case, and then they'll see which is which. You know, so you'll either be the champion or you'll have the Money in the Bank contract.
2 separate matches or 2 briefcases in one match?
2 separate matches.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's very sporty, and I read it off a dirt sheet, so it's about 80% probably not going to happen. Yeah.
Oh, I reckon that's about 50% not going to happen, because to be honest, it's like, now they're doing Money in the Bank, they can't have the world title and the WWE title anymore, and I don't think just having one Money in the Bank match is good enough. So that sounds like something that might actually happen, to be honest with you. I don't know where you read that. I get most of mine off WrestleZone, but like, I don't know, that sounds quite true actually. I'll fill you in, Michelle, in a bit of that in a minute. Anyway, so yeah, well, thank you for that. That does sound quite good. So he says he's going to end the fairy tale, which might put Cena towards the titles or not, we don't know. And he will be the last man standing, obviously at Payback, putting himself over. Then turns around and goes, my man Luke Harper will end John Cena tonight. So it sets up, we get Luke Harper versus John Cena as a main event on Raw, which is, again, straight away is fantastic, because those two work so well together. So Cena's music goes off, everyone, you can see all the fucking children and the lower fans, with their Cena signs and wearing Cena shirts, and obviously, he wasn't going to make that much of an impact. It comes down to, so Eric and Luke standing at ring, standing up the ramp. Luke, he rushes through the crowd, obviously Cena does, catches Bray Wyatt in the air and just leaves the ring like a little wussy, while the henchmen deal with Bray Wyatt. So it wasn't a bad opening. That was a pretty damn good opening, to be fair. So just gets it over straight, more Bray Wyatt, more John Cena stuff. It's indicating that John Cena can fight back against him, this cult leader, this demonic, really cult leader, the 2 goons, his followers. Overall, if this really is the end match at Payback, if this really is like the final match, then I think, one, it's been just a fantastic feud overall. I'd like to just get it all... Wait, shush. I'd just like to get it all in segments of DVDs and just watch it all back, because, yeah, it really is good. So we start forward with the first match, which was Cesaro versus Sheamus. And I spelt Paul Heyman's name wrong. Yeah, and I spelt Paul Heyman's name wrong on these notes, which is a bit weird. I must have been typing it too fast. I put P-U-A-L.
I was going to say, how did you misspell it? Did you spell it Paulie dangerously?
I think I felt it. My client will end the streak. I don't know why that's written down. I don't know, because it just says my client will end the streak. So yeah, so Paul Heyman's down ringside. He comes out, does a promo. He ends up mocking the Queen. He lays on the floor and goes, "What am I? No, I'm not your queen. I am the Undertaker. La la la." And then unlike the Undertaker, I am able to sit up and stuff like that. So, just amazing work.
And I noticed the crowd didn't give him too much heat though, because he's insulting the Queen. And it's just like, none of us give a shit about the Queen, mate. So it's just like you're backing up the wrong alley.
If he was insult David Cameron in one of those groups, a massive cheer, the roof would have gone off.
Yeah.
So.
I'm trying to think, what could he have said to get the British people pissed off? I'm actually trying to. No, I'll think about that later on. Let's get back to going over.
I mean, but he's a heel regardless. But I think making a shot at the Queen was good. I mean, it's like when Jerry Lawler first had that heart attack, and then like 2 weeks later, he pretended to have a heart attack in the ring, and some people thought that was too soon and a bit really offensive, and I don't know what I think about that. Still to this day, I don't really think they did that too soon, and I don't even think Jerry even knew they were going to do it, because the look on his face, he just looks so disgusted by it. Just look off his face was like, oh my god, I can't believe that they wrote this in, I mean, they were trying to get kind of, to get over it, that Jerry's okay now and stuff like that. So, but yeah, so that's Paul Heyman for you, he does sort of stuff like that. So,
I suppose that wasn't too soon, like you said. But the Paul Bearer WrestleMania lead up, that shit was definitely too soon.
Yeah, he came out just as but he only came out just as Paul Bearer during that. I mean, he didn't. Whereas Paul Bearer's dead, regretfully, Paul Bearer he wouldn't have minded them doing something like that, because that would have been in his name.
Yeah, that's
yeah. But at the end of the day, Jerry Lawler basically nearly died from a heart attack, and then you're mocking someone nearly dying from a heart attack, whereas coming out dressed as someone who's dead. I mean, in my opinion, there's a little bit different.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Like I said, I personally liked it. I liked the heel work and shit. I like the angle, but I'm just saying.
Well, it's just.
I think the heart attack, right? It's like comparing to like the person who had literally just died and they've turned it into a big bloody angle. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate.
Oh, you mean overall? Yeah, I know. They kind of played on Paul Bearer's death to get it over. Yeah, I mean, I do think that I would agree with you. That again might have not been what was best for business, but I'm not. No offense to Paul Bearer, wherever you are, it made for one amazing storyline, to one amazing match.
True.
So, well, I doubt he would have minded. I doubt he probably would have been okay with it. But but there we go. So anyway, moving on. Let's get back onto what we're going to talk about. So after he mocks the Queen, of course, and he goes on about his client freaking the streak, and he calls us all wannabes or whatever, and everyone's saying, he goes, my client, everyone shouts and beats the streak and stuff like that. So the match was pretty good, Sheamus and Cesaro. Really good, solid working match. Started off pretty slow pace, had Sheamus in control at the start of the match, and Cesaro came back and dominated most of the match. These two just are good. I mean, I'm not a fan of Sheamus that much, but these two, again, really talented. And we've had, I don't know if we've had Sheamus and Cesaro before. I mean, we probably have, but this match just felt, to me, like it probably could have been one of the best one of their best matches, since they've, if they've ever faced off before, So, back and forth these two went into powerful moves to keep the other one down. Cesaro's, trying his best to keep the Great White down. I don't even know if it goes by that name anymore, the Great White. Cesaro got an uppercut on Sheamus as he went for the flying shoulder barge again. The way he does those uppercuts, it looks like they really look like they hurt. They really look like full on uppercuts right in the chin. So he gets that. Sheamus kicked out. Cesaro ran to him, but Sheamus hits him with the Irish Curse. This match was just full of really good spots, to be honest. I mean, I might even go back and watch this match again at some point. I took 5 minutes out during this because I had to go to the toilet when I was actually there, but watching it back on TV, I was just like, okay, I didn't really miss very much. The end was a bit odd. There was some near-fall kick-outs as well, by the way. One of those dramatic, oh my god, how did he kick out of two? He does the Irish Curse, and then Cesaro kicks out, and then Sheamus does the face of how did he kick out? Sheamus, because you've beaten people with Irish Curses, backbreakers in the past, haven't you? Yeah, of course you have. Yeah. So the end was a bit odd. It has Paul Heyman distracting Sheamus with his coat. Sheamus throws his coat back. Cesaro hits basically a German suplex and then gets the pin. So obviously he gets the win due to distraction. It's weird how he gets the German suplex in there though with it. And Cesaro did a powerful uppercut. Sheamus kicked out of that, but he does some what looks to be pretty feeble, if I'm going to be honest, back German suplex, pinned him and then got the win. So it was a little bit odd, not the best win of all time, but still Cesaro went over, which is again even more weird because Sheamus just won the United States title. So this could be setting up a Sheamus Cesaro United States title feud at some point now. I mean, what we saw on SmackDown again, more Cesaro and Sheamus. This is now promoting a good feud. So yeah. After the match, Sheamus went to shake Cesaro's hand, but he basically went in and then basically brushed it over his head and basically mocked him, whatever. Okay. Okay, now I didn't see this live. I had to watch this back. It was said on the Raw pre-show that the Shield and Evolution match at Payback was going to be now a no DQ elimination style match. Now, the only thing I have a problem with that is this is the fucking match they should have had at Extreme Rules. A no DQ elimination match, that says Extreme Rules. And now they're only making it a no DQ elimination match. The pay-per-view after, apparently, the night of Extreme, and now they're making it a no DQ match elimination match. But yeah, so Shield and Evolution match.
To be fair though, I think the Extreme Rules was a no DQ. As well,
yeah, I suppose it was, because every match is apparently no DQ. But that's what people say. Apparently, I've been reading comments and stuff on the match, and people say apparently every match is no DQ anyway. Because obviously it wasn't announced that Cesaro and RVD was no DQ, but they still got a bin out. So obviously I think it's just automatic no DQ. But yeah, they did go in the crowd, but they didn't use any chairs or anything like that. So, this, now we've got no DQ on the title, there might be at least one indication of weapon. Are you eating? Rostering some food there?
Yeah, sorry.
That's all good. So yeah,
my apologies. It's very unprofessional.
very unprofessional, damn it. Okay, well, for your unprofessionalness, you can call the next match.
Oh, it's like that now.
Yeah. But yeah.
Well, let me have a look here. So it was Big E versus Ryback, and the announce was a beat the clock challenge.
Yes, it was a beat the clock challenge for the Intercontinental title, and I've
never seen one of these before. I know they happened during the period when I didn't watch. Yeah, I think they primarily happened during the period when I didn't watch wrestling.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, I've seen clips of it on YouTube and shit, but I never understood the concepts. I was like, all right, so the first match, as said, Big E and. Sorry, just put my phone down. Big E and Ryback and beat the clock, and Big E wins in 5 minutes.
Yes.
And then obviously the later things, obviously they have to fucking win a match under that.
Yeah. So I mean, it's quite.
So like I say, it's all new to me, you know.
Yeah. It's quite confusing as well because I mean RVD has So I'm just eating chips. When RV did the match later on, he beat the countdown, but then he had a new 5-minute timer put onto him on the end, and I'm like, but there was basically no time left, so I didn't really understand. I don't really understand the beat the clock very well, but so Big E went in 5 minutes. Match was pretty good between Ryback and Big E. It was a short-ish.
I mean, they tend to be it was 5 minutes long precisely.
Yeah, exactly.
They tend to be your matches with two big guys, the ridiculously ripped buff guys.
Yeah,
sometimes they end up being boring, but I mean, it wasn't too bad.
I mean,
they worked pretty well with each other.
They do. They honestly do. I think, personally thinking, a lot of Ryback had a lot of flack months ago, and this was probably about 3 months after he came into WWE, that he was getting warnings backstage that he was too stiff and they wanted him better. Then they took him out for a while to do some ring work with him, and they brought him back again. That's after he stopped crushing jobbers. You should go. I don't know. You probably wasn't watching by then, but watch Ryback's debate. Pretty much for 2 months solid, all he would do was do a 2-on-1 versus local jobbers. It was quite weird. So, but I seem to think now he's doing a lot better in the ring. He's doing a lot better. And like you said, two big guys usually. I mean, they did that match years ago of what was it like? Big Daddy V versus Kane versus Kylie versus another one, and you think, oh my god, 4 powerhouse guys, this was amazing. And was it? My god, I fell asleep during that. It was so, because you just can't take a powerful guy versus a mid-card or a technical wrestler, then you've got yourself a match. But sometimes if you've got a big guy versus a big guy, it's like you've got the Hulk versus the Thing, or the Hulk versus Abomination. As much as they're going to kick the fuck out of one another, it's not always going to be a great match to watch. But then again, you got the Hulk versus the Thor versus 4, and then you probably got a better match. Sorry to use a Marvel reference there, but it's the only way I could describe it. So.
Oh no, we're going to get flagged for copyrights because you've mentioned Marvel.
Well, mentioned WWE and their names already, so, but, other people do podcasts on YouTube. I've seen it, I viewed them, I watch them. They don't get flagged, so we ain't going to get flagged either.
I know, sir. I'm just joshing,
I know.
Bit of good nature joshing, etc.
So they did have a good match. Obviously, it was only being 5 minutes long. It's a shame we couldn't have had a proper 10-minute match, but it was quite back and forth. Some power moves thrown in, but Biggie obviously gets the win within 5 minutes. I think he sets the time 5 minutes 15 seconds. I haven't written down. I've just written down 5 minutes. So there we go.
It's 5 minutes 2 seconds.
5 minutes and 2.
I'm surprised he.
Yeah.
3 minutes. Well, let's say 3 minutes wasn't enough. He
needed 5 seconds. Yeah. So yep. We want to move on. What was the next match? What did we see next?
It's what I assumed the match was going to be. Because Truth comes out with the Funky Dactyls.
Yeah.
Then Fandango comes out, and I thought, alright, so at least they're putting Fandango on something else, so him and R-Truth, and that gets sidetracked because someone... Oh, after you, sir?
No, I was going to say, everyone went nuts for Fandango, and you can't tell we're watching it on TV, but when Fandango came out, everyone was loud as fuck. Pretty much everyone, I think they did say the O2 was sold out, but they said it was 17,000 people there, but then they kind of mentioned that there was only 16,000, under 60,000 there, because you could see empty seats at the O2 arena. So, but then again, Michael Cole kept mentioning that they were sold out or something like that, which is bollocks. But pretty much everyone was Fandangoing, a little bit like the Adam Rose segment. So huge pot for Fandango in this. It was awesome. I'll add that in the video at the end. So yeah, go on.
Aye. And that's the problem. Was like, all right, here we go. Let's see how how this jobber match goes. And then Summer Rae comes out. And, you know, hey, well, no, I don't mean that nasty. I mean, yeah, jobber matches can be nice little time fillers, and I would have thought, all right, cool. But Truth versus Fandango. This could be.
No, I thought I could do an ice cream van like outside your house, but it wasn't.
Oh yeah. Yes. No. There is an ice cream van out my side. Wow, this microphone's really good.
It really is. I just heard.
You can hear it.
I just heard the microphone. I doubt the listeners will be able to hear it, but I just heard it. So, sorry, go on. Summer Rae, yeah.
But so 58th attempt. Yep. Summer Rae. She comes out, and then they have she has a cat fight with Layla, and then the match just doesn't happen for reasons.
Reasons unknown. Yeah.
I mean, R-Truth's out there. Don't be nasty to him. He came all the way to England just to have a match.
He came all the way to England just to get people to say what's up, and then just to come out, watch two divas fight it out, and then that's it. So I would have been pissed off flying all the way to England for that.
I felt bad for him. I mean, I thought he's probably going to do some work on SmackDown, but I don't.
No, he didn't. No. So the whole tour, he just had to make an entrance, and then that was it. So I mean, that was just London. I mean, they obviously went to Sheffield and Newcastle and stuff like that. So I mean, he probably did matches so he flew to London that week in London, which he didn't obviously, which felt like a kick in the crotch. But he could have been used at Sheffield or Newcastle or the other date. So, it was a bit weird. We see Summer Rae. We hadn't seen Summer Rae for a while, but if you read reports online, you'll know that she went to do the Marine 4. We did mention this. So obviously this was her coming back, and she just basically takes out Layla, and that was it. That was a bit disappointing, to be honest, because Fandango had a generally okay match with who did he have a generally okay match with the other week when he wasn't facing Santino? I can't remember now. Bugger me with a pitchfork. Who was it? Who did Santino? Who did Fandango? Oh, I can't think of it anyway. Well, Fandango had a match recently that wasn't against Santino Marella, and it was actually quite a decent match, and they was making him look.
I remember that match. It's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't think who the hell it was.
Yeah, because I know we went a little bit nuts. That it was finally. It's not Fandango versus. It was last week was Santino versus Mr. Sandow. Hang on, just looking through the notes quickly. Hang on, just bear with us. But anyway, it was Fandango and Dolph Ziggler. That's it. Fandango and Dolph Ziggler last week on Raw. That was actually a decent match. So I thought, okay, Truth's not a bad wrestler. In fact, he's a really talented, good wrestler, and I'm going to get him to Fandango, and obviously the match is just cut short. So sucks.
Yeah. This bit, I'll let you. I'll introduce it, but I'd rather get your thoughts on it. What was it like being in the arena, and then all of a sudden Daniel Bryan's music hits because he's been advertised he's not going to be there.
Yeah.
All of a sudden,
I mean.
What were you like? Were you like, oh my god, he's in? And then, unfortunately, then Steph comes out doing the yes move. And
I think that's the reason why they did it. No, go on, yeah.
Like I say, I can only imagine what it was like being there, not expecting Daniel Bryan, and then yes, he's here, and it's like,
just
kicking the balls.
Yeah, it was really quiet. I mean, a little bit. Me did believe he was there. I don't know, because we didn't read anything. I thought, well, he's just had neck surgery on Thursday. That's what Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. It's like 4 days after neck surgery. I thought, I don't know, maybe. I mean, he's going to be on Raw next week. He's going to be on Raw this following Monday coming on the 26th. So I thought, but so Brian's music went off. The place went ecstatic, almost as good as Fandango. The place went ecstatic, and I was a little bit in shock, and so was Michelle. We didn't think it. I mean, we did think he was there, and I think so did other people. We thought, okay, he's not having a match, but he might come out and say, I've had successful neck surgery this past Thursday. But no, the Demons, Stephanie McMahon comes out and says, mocking him, and the whole pitch just goes boo, boo, and you can tell people want to take out their drinks and start throwing their popcorn and start buying that £4 ice cream, the world's smallest tub. They're going to throw that. Because £4, why did I pay for this? And start throwing that, you're not allowed to chuck shit. Which is, it's quite funny though, really, because at the start of the events, they say, obviously, you're not allowed to use, surveillance, you're not allowed to record with video cameras, which is understandable, but it also says you're not allowed to record with your mobile phone. And during most of the matches, you could probably see, at least about 14,000 people all hold up their mobiles recording. So it's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So it's a bit ridiculous. So Stephanie comes out to Brian's music, which is obviously, and to tease the fans, just to basically get it down. We sort of knew it was happening because his music went off about 20 seconds and no one was coming out, so I thought, okay, this is just a tease.
Yeah.
So this was saying what is happening with the WWE World Titles, and what she says basically, there was a CM Punk chant during this. Obviously, it was cut out due to TV. CM Punk huge chant cut out, that was cut out. In fact, a lot of chants during Raw, SmackDown, and main event during the course of the London week. A lot of them was changed, edited out, and everything like that. Like, apparently on main event, Sandow he got cheered on the way out, but apparently there were edited boos. There was more cheers put on, there was edited yays put on Sheamus on SmackDown. CM Punk was obviously edited out, obviously for reasons. I don't really care that CM Punk was really edited out, because I mean, he's gone, get out of the fact. So there was a lot of work. Doesn't surprise me, because that's what WWE do. You know, they say that we're a company for the people. We listen to you, but when we chant, I mean, CM Punk, edit that out. That's fair enough. But other things like cheering for Sandow, why do they need to put boos on that? And then why do they need to edit that? If they want to cheer for Sandow, let them cheer for Sandow. You know, it's just like, why do you need to put boos where a villain should be, and why do you need to put yays where a face should be? Just feels a little bit undermining. It feels a little bit petty, if I'm being honest. But unfortunately, that's what WWE does. So. Anyway, she goes on about stripping D. Bryan, and goes on about, maybe I should put it on Bad News Barrett, you know, and then everyone goes...
that got a big fucking pop, didn't it?
Yeah, and then she was like, I knew you could do that, you're a very typical crowd. So she doesn't strip Daniel Bryan, she doesn't use the word strip Daniel Bryan, she says that he has to show up next week on Raw, which is on, so that will be the 26th of Raw, which is obviously tomorrow, because we're filming this on Sunday, to show up and tells him to do the right thing. So whether or not we're going to see Daniel Bryan on Raw on the 26th, I don't know. Do you think he'll show up?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm guessing it was just like, it was a case of, they probably would have put him in a spot, but he had the surgery on Thursday, so he probably wasn't cleared to fly and shit, you know.
But it's weird how they're not, but they're kind of prolonging it, aren't they? Because they're not stripping him straight away. They're not saying, you know, they're not saying that we're going to strip you and shit like that. Obviously, they're playing it out. They're giving Daniel Bryan, they're saying, right, Daniel Bryan, you've got to come out next week, which is basically they're telling him sort of to give over the titles by saying, do the right thing, you know, do the right thing, give us the titles, you know, and all that other stuff, you know, which is in a way kind of good, because it was better than just, it's better than just, you know, saying, oh yeah, I'm afraid we're going to strip Daniel Bryan, you know, the WWE title, which obviously wasn't going to happen. So, and then we're going to get this Money in the Bank thing, which we talked about in the recap, that currently there's now 2 briefcases, one with the contract and one with the title, which again,
like I say, so
yeah, I know, it could just be bullshit. I know it could be bullshit. And if you find the link for that, send me that later on Facebook. I want to read that myself.
I certainly will too.
Yeah, if you do find the link for that. So I mean, I think the concept, that idea is kind of good, because that way we're getting a new champion, and someone's also getting their contract to face Money in the Bank. Now, I know it was only a report, but I can sort of see WWE actually doing that. And if they did actually do that at Money in the Bank this year, which I think will be in August, I'm not sure when it is, then
it's in July.
July, I don't know. Oh, excuse me, Mr. What are you, calendar man? Do you know your date? Yeah, I don't know my dates. I mean, they might have changed it. They always change pay-per-views, you know. There's me thinking they were going to bring back No Way Out, like, what, in 2012 or 2013, but they ended up cutting that. When they brought back Vengeance, that got cut as well, so just like, fuck.
Yeah, and they put No Way Out on in June. I mean, I wasn't watching it at the time, but I did some research and whatnot. And they bring back No Way Out for one thing, and it's in June. It's No Way Out February, you bellend.
Yeah, is it February?
Yeah, I'm really just being a fucking fanboy, annoying fanboy. And it's like, why won't you do the things I like? You know.
Yeah, I still don't understand why they got rid of Backlash. I mean, I don't see anything wrong with that pay-per-view, but yet they make pay-per-views named TLC and Hell in a Cell Elimination Chamber. Yeah, after match starts, and then WWE wonder why the fans not are interested in the match starts anymore. Yeah, because you killed the buzz. You know, we got Hell in a Cell coming up on October 20th live on Sky Box Office, and there's all these 3 matches, so we already know there's going to be a Hell in a Cell match. Now, back in the day, when it was Triple H versus Chris Jericho, and Vince McMahon went, you will face Jericho in Hell in the Cell, and I was like, oh my god.
Oh, they sold that shit so well. You know, every time they announced the Hell in a Cell match, it was totally unexpected, wasn't it? Just like
fucking hair with your balls basically stood up. You know, it was that good. And now they're saying, well, we'll come and live you Hell in a Cell in October. It's like, no, you killed the buzz. What are you doing?
Yeah.
You know, what are you doing? You know, so.
Well, I suppose the unfortunate thing, because it's PG now and whatnot, you can't really do anything dangerous with the Hell in a Cells.
I know.
I mean, not that I want to see anyone fucking chucked off the top. Well, I don't
No.
do want that. But legitimately, no, I don't. Yeah, obviously, I don't want to see fucking people chucked off it because it's fucking dangerous as shit. But you know, they just don't do any fucking good spots of that shit anymore.
No, it makes me wonder why they still even have the match around. But I think it's part of history, and they can't really get rid of their history. You know what I mean? So, but even if, well, we've not had some too bad PG Hell in the Cells. They haven't exactly been great, as much as great in the eyes of me, you, and a few other people. I mean, I'm not expecting look at Hell in the Cell. Yeah, one of the best Hell in the Cell matches I've ever seen, and you're going to probably think, oh, you're going to see Mankind, Undertaker. Yeah, no. I'm going to say Undertaker and Edge. Undertaker and Edge in Hell in a Cell was probably the best Hell in a Cell. Oh, no, actually, no, Triple H and Undertaker, actually, yeah. But other than Triple H and Undertaker at WrestleMania 29, Edge and Undertaker, I think that was 2009. I think it's
2008, SummerSlam.
2008, yeah.
Yeah, thanks to the network, I actually watched it recently.
Yeah, it's a fucking good match, isn't it? It really is.
And that spot at the end, that's fucking fantastic.
Yeah, go through the ring and the flames, he goes through a double table, Undertaker with a spear, the steps, the chairs, everything. Now that is what a Hell in a Cell match should be. I'm not gonna lie, you know, Undertaker and Undertaker Triple H at 29 and Hell in a Cell, that was a pretty good match. They did use some weapons in that, but I think it didn't even really matter that was even about a cage over them. It was an end of an era. So the cage over them wasn't even really an issue, realistically. It was just that they were so good. It was just so overwhelming. It was so overwhelming to me as watch as a fan, because when they all three of them stood at the end of the ramp, you know, it's just like, yeah. So yeah, we do
20 and all. I was like, yeah, that was fucking.
So we do get some still good Hell in a Cell. But yeah, that Undertaker Edge match. If you've not seen Undertaker Edge SummerSlam 2008, if you've got the WWE Network in America, go watch that match if you can, because it is fantastic. Oh wait, shush. Anyway, so yeah, that's all Stephanie says. She's basically encouraging Daniel Bryan to do the right thing next week on Raw, which is obviously so. And basically, she wants him. So basically, what she means by the right thing, she wants him to give up the titles, and he probably will do. He'll probably do it all grumpily and meanfully, and he'll probably be like, "I'm going to be the champion when I come back from this neck surgery," and then more yes-in and stuff like that. So yeah, but it was a good segment.
I've just thought, you know, what might happen with Daniel Bryan. He'll come out and he'll refuse to give her the belts, and he'll be all like, yes, and then he'll probably get attacked by the Demon Kane, you know, something.
Yeah. Stephanie...
That's probably not what will happen, but I've just literally come up with that theory now. It'd be pretty cool if that's the way
Stephanie
it goes.
actually says in the promo, she mentions the Demon Kane again, saying that she warned him and stuff like that. She warned him, and she still says Demon Kane. It's like that's his new name now. He's called Demon Kane. It's not Kane anymore to her. It's just Demon Kane. And if she go back in the last few weeks, every time she mentions Kane's name, I think there's Demon in front of it. And we mentioned that on the last one, but it's true. She mentions Demon Kane again. It's like, we get it, Stephanie. He's Kane. He's a demon. You're trying to do the whole demonic Kane thing from back in the Attitude Era when he wore the mask and a long sleeve and talk like this, you know, the voice box and shit like that. When people actually believe that he burnt when he was caught in a fire with his brother, the Undertaker, when they were younger, and he burnt him in the face and he had to use a voice box and stuff like that. Yeah, do you remember that when Kane used to have a voice box? That was weird.
Oh yeah. I remember the King of the Ring '98 match with Stone Cold. He did. It's just always an iconic thing. He says, "If I do not win the title, I will set myself on fire." I was like, and at the time, I was young, and I didn't start watching '98, but you know, started watching like '99, and I went back and like saw all that stuff. And believing, and I totally thought it was all real because I was fucking 11 years old. So what do you expect? And I was like, holy shit! If Austin wins, we're gonna fucking see somebody fucking kill themselves by setting on fire.
Yeah, exactly. That's weird. Yeah. So.
But yeah.
Oh, and it stopped.
Unfortunately.
No, go on.
Yeah. No, just unfortunate. You know, we don't get any psychotic spots like that these days. But,
PG, cough, PG. But yeah, I mean, end of the day,
Yeah.
like, just because, I mean, I didn't really find out. I found out at the same time. I still thought it was real for quite a while, you know, because, I mean, WWE don't exactly advertise it, and when I was younger, I didn't have the internet, you know. Nowadays, younger generation could probably look up online, and they didn't have Beyond the Mat until, like, not today, so it's not really advertised. A lot of the WWE is a scripted thing, so it was, I liked it when it was JR and King, JR and Taz, and then like he bashed that baseball bat in the window, knocked all that glass into JR's eye. I remember saying, like, to my mum and brother, saying, you should get fired for that. Why is he not getting fired? And he's thinking, yeah, I felt an idiot now looking back on it. That was written down on a bit of paper, telling him to do that.
Well, I made a big deal about it yesterday on the Reddit Squared Circle. I was just like, you know, I can't remember what thread I was on, but I started typing. I was like, you know, Survivor Series 2000 is one of my favourite matches, you know, because the storyline is so epic, you know, Stone Cold Triple H, and then, you know, the bit where they go backstage and Austin lifts Triple H up in the car, drops the car off the thing. I was 12 years old, again, still thought it was all real, so I was like, oh my fuck, I've just witnessed a murder. I literally thought he killed Triple H. I was like,
shit. When he has him on the forklift and Triple H goes, holy shit, and then the car falls and like lands on the car.
Yeah.
I went...
Yeah, I was just like...
I thought Triple H was dead.
What? I was like, oh, what the fuck? What the fuck just happened?
And then he just shows up next day on Raw with like just wearing an armband and a neck cast. It's like, what the fuck?
Wasn't even that, was he? He was just wearing a plaster on his forehead. It's like...
But yeah, that was still one of the most... Yeah, that's recyclable. That's still one of the most shocking times, you know, when he just picks up that car. I mean, WWE's done a lot of shocking moments, you know, but when he goes, holy shit, and obviously it was stopped and pre-recorded footage, but still, it still was good, and yeah, that moment is, I love that. Sometimes I go back on YouTube just to watch that moment because that was just like, so believable. Anyway, let's get back to Raw. We've just spent 10 minutes of talking about non-Raw related stuff. So,
well, hell, it's a wrestling
yeah,
podcast.
Fuck it. We can go off track if we want to go off track. Yeah. Oh, pardon me.
Well, I'll attempt to get us back on track. So after the Stephanie promo, we finally see the Union Jacks, as they call themselves, when they're over here.
Yes, everyone wanted to see the Union Jacks because they did it last year and the year before, basically. Yeah, and it's good. It's a good little thing, especially if you're from the UK, so it's good to see them go from 3MB. I mean, American fans won't understand, but, well, they might do if they've ever been to London. But yeah, so we see the Union Jacks come out, which is good to see. They did it last year. So he goes to speak London and all that. He goes to talk, and of course is interrupted by Rusev. You know, we got to have Rusev or interrupted by Lana, who again advertises the fucking Vladimir. I think he advertised. Did she advertise Vladimir Punta again? Yeah, I think he did.
Yeah, Vladimir Putin. Yeah, once again. It's like, who cares anymore? It's just like, I thought it was probably a bad idea to use him and the whole Russia anti-gay thing and the no hate thing they're doing now. You know, like be a star, but don't be.
Exactly.
Don't give any shit to homosexuals. It's like you've just started that campaign and now you're using Putin to get heat.
Yeah.
And Russia is not a very good fucking place to be if you're gay, etc. You know what I mean? It's
well, to be fair, Beer Star isn't just about gay people, it's about just stopping bullying overall, realistically. I mean, you know, it's just not whether, you know, it's to do with, like, skin.
No, I don't, not the Be a Star campaign. They've launched a new one called No Hate.
Oh, have they?
Yeah, it's spelled H8.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And, you know, it's, you know, basically supporting the lesbian and gay community and whatnot, which is cool. But, like I said, you start this, and then, you know, then you do the Vladimir Putin stuff, and it's like...
Yeah.
It was like, remember last year when they did Ryback, those backstage segments where he just bullies the shit out of, like, people backstage.
Exactly, and then that's when they had Be a Star, and then, like, had Ryback just basically Ryback a bully.
Yeah, but problem is, they never led anywhere, you know, because I thought, obviously, they're promoting Be a Star and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I thought... eventually somebody would come out and show him up. You know,
but like, they didn't.
It just led nowhere.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, great. I'll stop getting sidetracked. But yeah, so we have Yeah, Lana come out, as you say, she's, giving...
Usual
like,
crap.
You English, yeah, you English, you're no better than the American pigs, etc. And then, she sends Rusev down to the ring, and the... would you call it a match? Because it lasts about 1 minute.
Sorry, I just love that thing. Basically, it's a squash match, essentially. Which is, again, we could have had this... we could have had this Russo Big E thing, which apparently, spoiler alert, dirt sheet alert, apparently they've stopped that, and now they're squash matching them again, essentially it was that. So 3MB basically all jump Russo off, he basically cripples every single one of them, so essentially the match was supposed to be Heath Slater versus Rusev, it looked like, and basically just crushed him, essentially. Throws Slater into the ring, then just slams him, hits the finisher, the win's over, so that was it. So I can't say much more than that. So
do you want to go on to the next part?
No, you are. No, I'm kidding. Yeah. So the Shield cut a promo. I just thought I'd fit in a quick pee during that. I was going back since I was drinking at the event. I was going back and forth. Luckily, it was only 2 seats away from the aisle, so I didn't have to, have make people stand up like a lot when I was going back and forth. But I was trying to hold it in as much as I could, and then wait until the Divas match. I was just going to basically release, but I couldn't even do that because it was Paige. I was thinking, for God's sake, I'm going to cut. I had these white trousers and I'm going to go out with bloody yellow ones. So it didn't happen though. So the Shield cut a promo saying they hope to see a real fight. Basically saying they show Roman Reigns and he's 9 stitches and he's did you see that on Twitter that Roman Reigns posted of that gas?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a horrible.
Yeah, that he had in a cage match I think in Glasgow or like some other place. So they show that Roman Reigns goes 9 stitches and they go, look, is that all you got? Is that really what you've got? Because if this is just an evolution of running scared. So it was a great promo and I got it on my phone as well. It was an amazing promo, just saying, come on Evolution, we don't know more of this 20-on-3 crap. We want you only. I mean, Dean Ambrose is just literally like, he could run for president. He really could. He could just talk for fucking hours. If he was to do a podcast of 2 hours of just talking about real life, how he feels, how the wrestling industry really has been, for what it is to what it is now, or his work. I mean, he's been in like ZCW. He's been everywhere. He has to get where he is. Just hearing him, he needs to sit down, put some headphones on, and start fucking talking. And no stop, and that's what, that's how it needs to be. So Dean Ambrose calls them cowards. And they showed I showed the Wonder Woman saying around the Hampton, Scotland, and Seth says that he will battle Batista tonight, that he nearly ended his career last week, but he will do better, and just basically believe in the Shield. So next match we go on to another Beat the Clock match. We see RVD versus Dario. RVD again got a massive pop where he came out. Dario again, I don't know if Dario's... There was a report, I think, I can't remember when, that Dario's contract was coming to an end, and he said that there was a report going around that he wasn't going to sign anymore. I don't know whether that's the end of this year or the end of next year. Apparently he was, but to be fair, as much as it would be a shame if WWE lost Dario, because I know he's basically jobbing at the minute. He's basically become a jobber like Sandow, because Dario is a talented wrestler, regardless of what people think of him or not. He is actually, he comes from a good background. If you can try and find some of his matches before he came to WWE when he used to wear a mask, you'll be like, what? That's Dario now, and what they do to him, So Dario and RVD was, oh my god, my hay fever's coming back. It was an okay match. I found this one, personally I found it rather boring, but that's just my opinion. I wrote down I actually went for a piss during this match. I think I did, yeah. It has some good work, and of course, like it does, RVD, Dario are good workers regardless. It was quite a fast pace, obviously, because they're trying to, I think, what was it? Didn't they have 5 minutes, or someone has to win within under 5 minutes? So obviously they're going to be both, back and forth, because they've only got 5 minutes. So, to a wrestler that's probably a long time, but to people watching that's probably not. So, but I just felt it was boring to watch, really. It was okay, I suppose. Dario controls most of the match at the start, and then towards the end, RVD comes back and basically gets to win with a roll-up, because he realises that the Frog Splash isn't going to do it. So the new time, so he basically, RVD wins, and I can't remember what time he won it on. Did you write that down, what time he won it on? I think he...
I didn't write down precise time, but he had about... I think it's like 4 minutes 15 seconds he won at.
Yeah, see,
like
but
Because the announcers go like, oh, he's only got a minute left, and then they go like, oh, look at that.
But,
he only had a minute left, and like 15 seconds later.
Yeah, true. But think of it this year: the clock was counting down from 4 minutes, so it was going down to 3 to 2 minutes. So I just read here that he got the win at 50 seconds, so he won with 50 seconds left. And then it said the new time was set at 4:15. So I don't. What is that? Is that because that? I don't get that. Is that because he won? They take the old time and then they add 50 seconds onto the old time.
Well, no, because what it was Big E won at 5 minutes, and basically if RVD could get win in a shorter time than that, then not RVD, whoever could win this next match was if they could do it in a shorter time, they advance, and their time becomes the new standard.
Okay.
You know.
All right, yeah.
So basically, the next guy has to like do it in less than 4 minutes and 15 seconds because that's how quick RVD did.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So RVD wins 15. So the new time is 4 minutes 15. So we've got one more match, obviously. So if there's no winner out of that one, then obviously that happens. We move on again. I'm just going to check something 2 seconds. Oh my god, we have to move on. The timer's getting a little bit on. We move on to Evolution. They cut a promo backstage saying that they think, Evolution say they think that's all we got. They really think that, that's what you did to the Roman Reigns in the cage is awesome. All I'm saying that Payback, they need to cripple them one by one. They need to basically. The difference between this, it sounds like the Evolution and Shield thing is coming to an end as well. I mean, that's been going on for quite a while as well, but the way they've been talking about promo, Payback, they've been saying about ending their feud because they said they need to, all instead about crippling them one by one, put an end to the Shield once and for all. So I'm assuming that maybe they're hinting that this could be their final match. I mean, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I mean, this thing's called Payback for a reason, so, I didn't like the idea of that at first, but I quite like it now, so. Triple H says there's already blood in the water, and then tells him, he never calls him Batista, he calls him Dave. He always tells Dave Batista to go out there and hurt tonight and make sure he can't even come back and make sure he can't even make it to Payback. Batista's like jumping up and down and saying, yeah, I'm ready, I got this, So next match, which you want to talk about, Seth Rollins versus Batista 6 match.
It was a decent enough match, I found. I wouldn't say it was fantastic, but it was not bad either.
Not bad either? Are you going to leave out the main thing that happened during this match?
No, actually, I'm about to get to that. Oh yeah, fucking Triple H. Doesn't Triple H announce?
Only
like, hey, now, I'm announcing now the special timekeeper for the match, Randy Orton. And I will be the special announcer and whatnot. It's like, okay. But then, then it's like, oh god, Rollins is going to get fucked up. And then, Rollins goes like, well, strange enough, I'm introducing the guest commentators. The rest of the rest of the Shield show up, and it was like, right, so odds are even and whatnot, yet again. And it's pretty much turned into like the main event of last Raw.
Yeah, pretty much.
Basically, two guys in the ring, and the rest of the teammates circling around the ring, trying to maybe attack. But although Shield did do majority of stay on the commentating table, so it's just
cool. The Shield did really good on the commentating table. They go on about taking out Brad Maddox and stuff like that, but they do quite good. Dean does most of the talking, but they do they do a good job. So so Triple H, what he originally said it was only supposed to be only official personnel down to ringside. So obviously Triple H and giving themselves ring keeper, timekeeper, and obviously a ring announcer obviously keeps it official. So so that was quite cool. That was quite a little twist. I like that. That was cool. Adds more fuel to the fire. That's already a massive fire that is Evolution and the Shield. I've got hiccups. I'm not enjoying these. It was pretty enjoyable. Had some good solid work from both. I think Seth and Batista, they did work. They worked okay on SmackDown, and they worked well again. Batista's, I don't know, he's doing okay. He's working. There's a lot of people saying he's doing really bad and he's not as good as he used to be, but I don't think he's doing as bad. I don't think he's doing that terrible, to be honest. I mean, maybe that's just my opinion. So it was a bit slow paced, but that's due to Evolution and Shield being outside the ring, and the camera was probably focused on them for most of the time because it was. Towards the end, Seth goes for the win, but another brawl basically breaks out between Evolution and the Shield. Orton hits Roman with a chair. This is what was weird. Orton hit Roman with a chair, or someone hit someone with a chair, and the ref doesn't call the match. The match is not over then, and then Seth goes to jump on them on Seth goes to then jump outside the ring. Triple H punches him, stops him in a dive, and then the ref calls the match. So that was a bit weird, but I think because they didn't hit any of the in-ring competitors, because they were only outside, it didn't really matter. So I think that was why. Which calls the match to a DQ. Orton gets more chairs. But Dean runs across both the commentating tables and jumps on him, which I thought was pretty cool. In the ring, Batista ends up spearing Seth. In the ring, Batista spears Seth, and after Evolution are taken out. I think this was just after the match, actually. After the match ended, Batista speared Seth, and after Evolution are taken out, Roman Reigns ends up... Evolution taken out, Roman spears Batista, which leads to which went to lead to a triple power bomb, but of course Orton saved him. So again, another really good build up to Shield Evolution. It was quite good to witness during live. So yeah. Now we come to the Diva match, and I texted you during this match because I was quite shocked. Now, and you actually texted me back. I didn't suppose you were going to text me back, but you're thinking, what the fuck, he's texting me? He's like, well, why is he texting me for? So the next match, 7th match, was Miss Alicia Fox, which I call Miss Fox, versus Paige, and Paige lost this match. Paige pretty much had no... Miss Fox was dominating most of this match. Paige had a little bit of momentum at the start where she hair froze her. But after that, pretty much Miss Fox dominated the entire match. That was all she did. Brutal things, and then all she does, she throws her into the turnbuckle, does what needs to be like a DDT or some other shit, and then she loses the match. Now obviously, people do lose matches, it's no shock. What was a shock to me is that obviously, it's London, Paige is back in her home country because she's from Nottingham. She's back in the UK, and then she basically lost in her hometown. Not really her hometown, because it was in Nottingham, but she loses in the UK. So I thought that was a bit weird. I thought it was a bit weird WWE do that, but I suppose...
Well, I suppose it was a case of, they don't want to give both of their English wrestlers a big rub, because they later on obviously give BMB, a big rub and whatnot. But, so I think it's just they don't want to push
they don't want to make it seem,
far,
they don't want to make it seem like, all the UK people get the big wins and stuff. So I suppose that does make sense. So after the match, she takes the King's Crown. What you don't see on TV is that she takes the King's Crown and she actually she's walking on the barrier, but she actually drops it a few times, and then the crowd pick it up to her, and she takes people's Cokes, and she pours a fucking Pepsi down herself, which was a bit weird. And then, so she's balancing on the victory, taking the King's Crown and stuff like that. So that was a bit odd. So the first time Paige gets a loss was in London, England. So that was a bit, but you are right. It was good working from Alicia Fox. I mean, I've always said she's been an okay wrestler. She just needed the potential to come out, and now she's wrestling with Paige. They're actually making her not some I broke her now. I fell over. The woman fell on top of me. It's free. It's over. It's not just that typical stuff. It just seems like they're actually wrestling now for once. So. Not insulting any divas there or anything. I'm not trying to anyway.
I am. Screw the divas. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, well, screw them in maybe one way, not the other way. Promo of the Wyatts is shown, and they go on about the Usos siding with John Cena. I didn't really take anything down. Have you got anything written for that?
No, all I have written is Bray Wyatt did a promo. That's it.
Bray Wyatt did a promo.
Well, it's hard to take notes
really,
what he says, because what he says is amazing and captivating.
Yeah,
it's always a bit scatological.
Yeah, you kind of have to just take key notes, little things, and take it out. You can't really, because he's talking in riddles and cryptic talking and stuff you can't really just write it down the entire promo. Hogan on SmackDown, all he comes out and says, Legends House Network, brother, and then walks off. That's all he says. That's easy to, but Bray Wyatt is different. Yeah. So they do a promo. Yeah. We see the 8th match, which was the final beat the clock match, which was Mark Henry versus Dolph Ziggler. So obviously the crowd were getting to see Dolph Ziggler and Mark Henry, because a few people went Mark Henry. So again, Ziggler, a huge pop when he comes out. Mark Henry got quite a good pop as well, but again, when you watch it back on TV, it made it seem like no one basically cheered for him. He was acting kind of like a face as well, but then again, he hasn't been on TV for a while, well, not that I can remember anyway.
Sure.
This was quite slow paced and boring. This was, but obviously there was only a 4-minute match, so obviously they were trying to do moves to keep it. They couldn't go crazy. They had to keep looking at the time, but it was only 4 minutes, so it was obviously. And to be told, Mark Henry could probably crush Ziggler quite easily. He could have probably just basically crushed him within 4 minutes anyway. So they were trying to make it look like that Ziggler had the upper hand. I mean, I have it written down here. Mark Henry could have beaten Ziggler within 4 minutes. LOL. Ziggler spent most of the time outside the ring. Again, I think it was just to kill time. It felt like it was dragging. Mark Henry dominated towards the end of most of the match. I think he ends up going for Ziggler hit 2 powerful drop kicks on him, and then he hit a botched Famous, so he jumped on him, but Mark Henry didn't sell that very well. Ziggler goes to jump on him, but he catches him, but instead of going for what his finisher could have been, he puts him over his shoulder and slams him, goes for cover, and then he kicks out, and obviously JBL was like, why didn't he do the World's Strongest Slam? Why didn't he do the World's Strongest Slam? So he picks him up, goes for the World's Strongest Slam, Ziggler slips out, hits a zigzag, but unfortunately Ziggler runs thin because the time is up. No more Ziggler. Sorry, you didn't beat the clock, because apparently when you zigzag Mark Henry, you get thrown over the other side of the ring due to impact. So RVD comes out and goes, saying that he wins. So now he goes to. We didn't even explain this. This Beat the Clock was an IC title for a match. Whoever won would go and face Barrett at Payback. So now it's going to be RVD versus Wade Barrett at Payback. And now, I don't know, I'm assuming Wade Barrett will win, but I'm assuming they're only doing this as well to give RVD something to do, and to be honest. So RVD comes out, win, turns around, RVD, boom, bad news Barrett, hits him from behind with the ball hammer. Crowd go ecstatic again. Goes on the mic saying, I'm afraid I've got some bad news. A whole crowd chanted that. So, saying you have to face me at Payback and blah, 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 blah. And he says, at the end of the promo, he says, then I won't be used to a yank. And the whole crowd just go crazy on that. I won't use to a yank. Everyone goes, hey, even though there was probably a few yanks in the audience.
Yeah, I don't know if they attempted to edit it down on TV, because on TV you could hear the bloody big giant pop he gets, was like, I'm not going to use to a bloody yank.
Yeah, and then there's a huge pop, but that huge pop was, I was honestly thinking, are you going to cut out the word yank or just cut down the pop? But that big cheer was literally what it was. There was no editing in that, so I'm not going to use to a yank. So start. So, welcome back. We had a piss break. Which obviously won't be shown on the podcast. I do want to mention, I didn't mention that I was actually, I was dressed as Bray Wyatt. I had a Bray Wyatt outfit while I went to a Raw, and Michelle had the Daniel Bryan yes t-shirt. We didn't get a lot of yeses. Usually from last year, everyone just goes, yes, but there wasn't a lot of doing that this year. I don't know why. So I got, just as Bray Wyatt, got myself a fedora, a Hawaiian shirt, a white pair of trousers, and you wouldn't believe it, it is quite hard to find a white pair of trousers that isn't skinny jeans, So it was quite cool. There was a few Bray Wyatts there, but I thought the costume that I did was quite cool. I may or may not have a photo of me and Michelle wearing the end. I took a photo of her wearing my sheet mask as well, and saying London we're here. So there was a few Bray Wyatts. There was some other Cenas as well. There was some Cena clones, and then with Cena sucks on the front, and then on the back it says he really does suck. It's ironically that group is actually 4 chairs behind us as well. So because we were probably about midway. So so I didn't mention that before. I mentioned that I was at Raw in London, but obviously I didn't mention that I was just as Bray Wyatt. So I went just as Bray Wyatt. And the only thing I didn't have a companion to wear a sheet mask with me all the time, because obviously they're hard to see out, and I didn't have a lantern. I need to get a lantern.
I too have a Bray Wyatt costume. Well, I'm a fat man with a beard who happens to own a fedora and Hawaiian shirts, so...
Do you have the white trousers?
Well, cream trousers, but practically, for me, they're white, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think that'll be the same.
Yeah,
I think that'll be the same, yeah.
Like I said, it's not really the costume so much, it's just more like this... I mean, it's like that. That's the kind of attire they wear, fedoras and shit like that, and Hawaiian shirts. I'm a sad bastard. Anyway.
You know what I'm talking about. I mean, I've got a few costumes, but I mean, to me, when I was walking out going to Raw, to everyone else, I probably just looked like some guy just came back on holiday. I just looked like a tourist who's just wearing a Hawaiian shirt and a hat. I didn't
I've seen the pictures. It looks good on you, mate.
No, I mean, thank you. I mean, it's cool, but I'm saying to other wrestling fans, it just looks like I'm wearing her shirt and a hat, you know what I mean? So I felt a bit odd when I was going to the O2, you know, if people thinking, not people thinking, look, it's Bray Wyatt. But I mean, when I went to MCF Expo, that's the problem with me. Yeah, I'm not as like chubby as Bray Wyatt is, and the beard isn't as good as he is. But still, some 2 things less. But when I went to MCM Expo, which was yesterday in London, I had a few compliments. About 8 people came up to me and say, "Oh, you're Bray Wyatt, aren't you?" Yeah, and someone showing Bray Wyatt, and then kind of did the whole, thing people do when Triple H comes out and they like bow their hands and stuff like that. So I got noticed a lot of that, because when you go to Comic Cons and now, there is actually quite surprisingly, it's all about comics and shit, but there are surprisingly a lot of WWE fans that go to there, a lot of fans that like wrestling and stuff, so yeah. Anyway, sidetracked again. Let's get back onto the thing. Yeah, so I thought I was just Bray Wyatt. There will be some extra stuff that I got at the end, and maybe a photo might be there or not, I'm not sure. So we move on to Raw. Renee Young says, "Welcome Adam Rose," and Adam Rose got a massive pop. Everyone was going do. Literally everyone in the place was doing it. It was just do. Yeah, well, they were Fandango in the arms. I mean, it was again. You'll see on the video at the end. You couldn't really tell like from the TV. I suppose you could that, but yeah, massive pop and cheer. So even when we left after the show, on the way out, everyone was going do. So Adam Rose is insanely over now. He really is. So he comes out with a lot more dancers this time. Massive cheer. Nearly everyone is humming the theme song and doing Fandango in the dance arm. Renee interviews him. Well, basically, he kind of interviews her pretty much. And he goes on about, "Where's my cheeseburger? Where?" I don't know.
He's got sesame seed on his buns. I can't.
Yeah, he goes, "Where's my cheeseburger? Yeah, we need a nurse. You want to be the nurse? You can be the nurse." I was like, "What? Are you directing some sort of porno here?" I was like, "Adam Rose, Jesus Christ." And so he goes on about a cheeseburger. And introduces Swagger and Zeb come out. Everyone again heaves the from do. So they're humming Swagger's theme song, and they did that on Superstars as well. But yeah, so Swagger comes out, starts talking. How did you get into America's border? Let alone you got into the worst state, which is the UK. I don't look at you people and see filth and that. And he just basically slags us off. Bitter lemons and then so Renee and before Zeb comes out, Renee in that talk, he asks questions and stuff, going on about Rosebuds and stuff. I haven't really got a good written down thing of this. So they come out. He ends up calling Zeb and Swagger bitter lemons and like stuff like that, and then that's when their cue comes out. That he gets the bunny to dance as well, which was a lot of people saying that was Justin Gabriel in that bunny costume apparently. So I don't know if it was, but I've read reports saying that it was Justin Gabriel. He calls Swaggy, was it Jack Swaggy and Zebby like bitter lemons. not too long, as we said, Zeb and Swagger come out, everyone's humming Swagger's theme song now. Zeb goes on the mic, he doesn't know how Adam Rose got in, to US, let alone England, blah blah. Yeah, called us vermin, called us UK vermin folk. That's what Zeb Coulter's word was. Thank you, Coulter. Yep, we are. Zeb then challenged Rose to a match. He goes, "I'll back up my guy, you back up your guys," And so I thought, oh my god, really? And at this point, Adam Rose is just kind of like laughing to himself, like thinking, what the fuck is this? And then, and JBL's on commentary going, "He's a grandfather. He's a goddamn grandfather." I just feel like somebody needs to just get a megaphone out and go, "Everyone in the O2, this man is a grandfather," just like, JBL even says something funny on SmackDown about Adam Rose's dances. It's funny. But basically, before the match, before it goes to start, he takes off his coat. Swagger punches Adam Rose and basically pretends to KO and knock him out. He then scares all the dancers and scares the bunny by doing, turns around and basically Adam Rose jumps on him and just basically punches him in the head and basically stuff like that. Then basically Swagger and then Rose throws him out the ring. Yeah, Drew ends up talking. Everyone's also humming Adam Rose's theme song. After it all, they all dance in the ring, and everyone's just humming the theme song. So yeah, so he throws him out. Yeah, so I'm reading this bit down. Yeah, and they're all humming and they're all dancing and shit, and then that's pretty much it. But yeah, it was good because the atmosphere of Adam Rose and everything. I think they all loved him being there, you know. And it sucks though because I know Adam Rose is probably going to come out on Raw again this week, and he's probably not going to get the same reaction he did in London. So it's like one of those Raws after WrestleMania where it's just like it's so good. It's like, oh my god, I've just seen the best Raw ever, and then you watch next week and just like, oh well, that's just a fucking, you know, that's basically erectile dysfunction. You know, that's you know, a erectile dysfunction Raw. So it was good. It was good to see. They're obviously promoting Swagger and Adam Rose at some point. I'm assuming they're going to have a match because this is probably the second or third time they've had contact, and then now they've actually hit each other. But Adam Rose is yet to have a match yet. He's still yet to have a match.
I'm guessing they'll do it for Payback or something like that.
Possibly. I mean, I don't see how. Yeah, probably might be a Payback to get it on the card, I imagine. Yeah. So, but still, Adam Rose is doing good, partying all around, and you know, I'm a fan of his. I'm a Rosebud or whatever. So yeah. It feels weird saying that, I'm not going to lie. So a promo show says that Bo Dallas will be debated on SmackDown this week. Now, I read a report saying that was cancelled and it got pushed back, but it was actually true, and he was on SmackDown this week, and he didn't really make that much of an impression, to be honest. Okay, moving on. The main event was John Cena versus Luke Harper. So again, this was just one fantastic match. It was like, again, I'm not a huge fan of John Cena, and I said this during the podcast, but it wasn't recording, and yeah, Luke Harper and Eric Rowan have been working so well with John Cena. You need to look at them, and you can really tell how talented they really are. And Luke Harper's a big guy, and he was doing Hurricane Ranas at one point, and
that shot the shit out of me. I was just like, holy fuck.
Yeah, he did Hurricane Rana, and he's been doing like flying clotheslines, and he's been doing like a lot of actual moves that we've not been seeing for a while. And this is a man that's probably about 6'4", 300 and like something pounds, you know, or probably a bit taller and way more than that. I don't know, but I mean, you look at him, you see Luke Harper, and you think, okay, clotheslines, power bombs, you know, just powerhouse. He's a power. He's powerhouse. I can do a Hurricane Rana, you know. So. More great working from Luke Harper as always. Even Cena can hold up to a match like this, which is quite surprising for John Cena. Harper hitting some different move spots too in this one, which made the match even more fun and enjoyable to watch. Harper pretty much dominated nearly all of this match until Cena came back a bit. Got the STFU in. Eric gets up on ringside, but the Usos kick him off. Bray Wyatt gets in and hits a running Sister Abigail on an Uso in the ring. He goes for Cena, but he ducks, and then Bray goes over the top rope. Where are we? I lost myself. Luke picks up Cena, but then Cena goes for the AA on Harper. Gets the AA on Harper, but before he can cover, Eric Rowan comes in and attacks Cena, which obviously calls the match DQ. So it was a good match. The same matches like this have to end in disqualification, but I suppose he puts it over in a little bit sort of a sense. Eric Rowan basically cues the match. Bray Wyatt gets in and then hits Sister Abigail on Cena. Bray Wyatt doing running Sister Abigail is actually quite. I like seeing him do running Sister Abigail. It's really quite good. The crowd at this point are singing "He's got the whole world in his hand" while moving their arms. Luke and Eric pick Cena up outside the ring and they take him to the ramp. And he then then Bray Wyatt again hits the Sister Abigail on the ramp. And obviously this is what was going to happen here. Bray Wyatt sings a song, and he's got the whole world. White Roman's going 1, 2, 3. So White Bray sings his count. So obviously, just the full count. So obviously, this is promoting. Obviously, that they're going to win at Payback. Obviously, now they're keeping Cena down tonight. I mean, they've got Eric and Rowan. It's no DQ, so Luke and Eric are definitely going to be at the ring at Payback. So I mean, obviously, I can still think Cena's going to come up and win somehow. But it was a good end to Raw. It really was. That was a good end to Raw. I thought that was a good Raw overall. Right, now.
What was it? Sorry to interrupt. What was it? Although you can't see the angle on TV, but it's really obvious that, you know, Luke Harper picks up John Cena's shoe and just fucking chucks it in the crowd.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because obviously you were there for it, so you could actually see it. I mean, did the crowd all, like, they all try and grab Cena's shoe and he threw it in the audience, or they all just like, no, we don't want to touch that?
I don't know. I don't think he threw it in the crowd. I think he threw it aside because I know after the match went out, Cena got. Cena got back into the ring, and I'm pretty sure he said on the mic, "I had a good match tonight. I got Sister Abigail out of my shoes," and he picked up a shoe. So I don't know whether it was the second shoe he was wearing or
fair enough. It's just because the way they angle it on TV, you don't see him throw it, so the angle it looks like he's just chucking it right into the crowd and shit. You know?
I can hear a dog. I think he threw it to the side because I'm pretty sure after when we stopped recording, I'm pretty sure he went back to the ring. And basically, I got Sister Abigail without my shoes tonight, you know, I'm pretty sure he said that. So, I don't have a video footage of all the dark stuff. It sucks. I was recording Barrett's and then my phone died, so unfortunately I can't, because there was a lot of good, instead of a dark match, we pretty much got a dark promo, and anyone watching this now and was at Raw on the UK will know how good this was. It's a shame. Maybe you can get permission from another YouTuber that's filmed it, and then we can maybe get it and get it used in this podcast, because just seeing that dark stuff was like, it was awesome. It really was. So pretty much, just going through quickly what happened during the dark stuff. The Wyatts come back down and they say they ain't done yet. They want another match, they want to wrestle. And who come out? The fucking Shield. The Shield come out, and again, people just going crazy. Oh my god, we're going to see the Wyatts versus the Shield. Like, oh my god, by god, by god. It's like 400 fabled JRs are going over saying, by god, and just let down. So we got the Shield. They basically brawl. Basically, it's not a match. They basically just brawl. They're fighting. They end up going backstage. It ends with basically Roman Reigns spearing Eric Rowan, and he leaves him in the ring. When they all walk out, we see Bad News Barrett come out, and then again, massive pop. And then once he gets in the ring, he ball hammer elbows Eric Rowan. So Eric Rowan has to take a spear and the ball hammer elbow. So not too bad. Bad News basically got on the mic saying he's thanking all the people for being in the London. Thank you for everyone for coming. He's enjoyed the tour so far. It feels good to be back in, the UK. And stuff like that. It feels good that he's returned to the UK with his belt. Stephanie comes out and says, I'm afraid I've got some bad news for you. Oh, and that was just horrible voice. Saying that the show's over and that Bad News has to go. And then as soon as she goes back, he goes, well, she can kiss my British ass. And everyone just goes, yay. So he keeps talking, but then of course Triple H's music comes out. And he goes, my wife is right, you need to go, the show is over. And then he starts mocking the English, he starts mocking, English people, by saying, I need some deodorant. I'm afraid I can't do the voice, you need to watch it yourself. But yeah, he starts like mocking us, saying we smell, and we've got no jobs, and we smell even more apparently. And, Barrett saying, that's a lot of talk for a big man that's over there and not in the ring with me, and stuff like that. I can't really remember exactly what happens right at the very end, because at this point there's quite a few. And then Adam Rose comes back out, does more and joins in the convo. Triple H still again begins to mock. So that's how it ended. It ended basically with Triple H and Barrett doing basically a promo of Triple H mocking him and the crowd, and Barrett was saying shit to him, and then Adam Rose comes out. Adam Rose was dressed in probably street attire because he was wearing a waistcoat and a purple shirt as well. So I can't really remember exactly what happened at the end. I don't know if Barrett hits an elbow on Triple H or Triple H pedigrees like one of them, but I know it's Bad News Barrett, Triple H and Adam Rose. I can't really remember what they did. Mish, what happened in Raw? Did Bad News Barrett ball hammer elbow Triple H or anything, or? Because I know Triple H was mocking all the English, wasn't he? And he said, you're big for someone that's not in the ring. He gets in the ring. I can't remember what exactly happened to the end, whether he ball hammers Triple H or if he takes the pedigree or something like that. I can't really remember, can you? I can't remember. I'll have to watch it on YouTube, yeah. So basically that was all the dark stuff, and then it ended after that. But anyone who wasn't at Raw and you haven't seen that, just look up WWE London and then the dates, and then see if you can see the dark clips. I'm sure someone's recorded it already, and Potts will have, so to see what happens there, because I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure maybe Wade Barrett takes the ball hammer elbow. I'm not completely too sure. So yeah, so it was good. It was a good Raw. It was a good Raw. Hopefully me and you maybe can go to Raw next year or SmackDown next year Yeah, so that'd be pretty cool. It was good. It was good regardless, even if even if people didn't go. It was a good week, a good Raw for being in the UK because they're not always good in the UK. So, but yeah. So now we move on to SmackDown on the 23rd. So we move on to SmackDown in the UK, which was so cool. One thing I forgot to mention that I will actually say now, when Paige came out, she did actually get like a really big pop as well, which was probably obvious, but I forgot to say that. So SmackDown, we see, I wasn't at SmackDown, I couldn't afford going to SmackDown, unfortunately, but it was advertised mainly for Hulk Hogan. If I'd had the money, maybe. I mean, I usually go Raw, SmackDown every year. I never attended 2 shows at once. I do know folk that come down from the north to Manchester and all that. My friends that do, they usually do both shows because obviously if they're coming down from the north, they want to be there for the whole like shebang. My mate John Casey actually had VIP tickets, the bastard.
Nice.
So he got VIP tickets. VIP tickets, he got a meet and greet. For Raw's one, he met Big Show and Ziggler, which was cool. And then the SmackDown's one was Usos and Sheamus. And he said the Usos weren't as fan-friendly as he thought they would be, which was a bit weird anyway. So we see SmackDown starts with a new theme. I'm pretty sure if you watch SmackDown, now you watched the unedited version, didn't you?
Yeah, because when I usually watch it, it's usually, they'll put on the broadcasted rip and whatnot, so it's the TV version. I was shocked because I had no idea what the hell I was watching because it was like, it started off with like, the commentators coming down to the ring and I was like, what's going on?
Kind of the cameraman pushing JBL.
And it was just like, and there's all this stuff like, what the advert should be. You got like Michael Cole like talking to like the backstage for his headset like, look, I've said this shit about 8 times already. Do you really want me to say it again? I don't know what he was saying it about, but you know what I mean? It was just like, it was all unedited.
Yes, sir.
It was mad to watch. Because at first I thought, what they can't have broadcast this. This is so badly unedited, and I realised it must have been a leaked work print, without all the stuff finished on it and whatnot. Because there's signs when it's complete dead air, like they're showing a shot of outside or something, like London Bridge, and it's just like...
Yeah. And Tony Chimmel fucked up, didn't he, as well on this one? He fucked up twice, apparently. I think when he went to see Eva Marie, he fucked that up. And then apparently, like, JBL and Cole gave him flack and, like, stuff like that, So... Yeah, it was a weird one, but that was the only thing that was going around. If you were unable to catch SmackDown on TV, because not all of us can afford Sky Sports, there are, you can catch it other ways. But this will seem to be the thing. And then WWE addressed this, that a leaked version, unedited version of SmackDown did actually get out. But I don't think they knew about this getting out. I think if they wanted to, they could get rid of all elements of it. It's obviously on online streaming sites. It's obviously downloaded. Look at it this way. There's no online footage of Owen Hart's death, and why is that? Because WWE got it all. So if they really wanted to, they could take it all down. They really could. So I think sometimes they say they let.
And also a fortunate thing. Not fortunate about the Owen Hart instance. It just at least luckily that happened at a time when. Broadband didn't exist, so the internet, it was hard to get fucking footage like from like a fan video camera onto the internet. So I suppose I'm kind of thankful for that because. I
mean, it's like that thing on Raw when they said where it's pro-viewed Jerry Lawler and JBL talking about the CM Punk chants and King saying there he goes, they never last long those chants, do they? No, they never do, and that apparently was a leaked one as well. But I think WWE know that they must know that stuff like this gets out. I'm pretty sure they're aware of everything that comes out, even in the report sites. I'm positive they know everything about the report sites. I'm positive. I'm just saying they must know that there's a leaked SmackDown out there. There's no way that they can't know, and if they really wanted to, they could try and take it all down. So anyway, So you didn't see the SmackDown's theme, so it had an intro of a new song, and I'm pretty sure it was a new song. I'm going to try and find this on YouTube for you, and I'm going to send it to you after the podcast. It had a new song. I think it's a song that gets used. It wasn't, and the sky turns bright. It wasn't that one, it was another one. A song goes, oh, hear that golden, the way I got it, whoa. It's kind of that one. Sorry, that's the best way I can sing it. I'm not a good singer. But that one...
Who would have thought you could have make they go from a bad theme to an even worse theme?
Yeah, it's that thing. I think for the advertising matches, hear that go with the whoa, whoa. Yeah, so basically that theme now is the entrance. I think they've changed it again because we haven't seen when was the last time we saw a Raw intro? Yeah, fucking ages ago. You know, we didn't even get one we went to see it on Raw. They just don't show Raw intros anymore, you know. So anyway, moving on before this gets really long. So basically, SmackDown. So I'm going to quickly. We're not trying to discard SmackDown. We're really not. But just for the sake of this podcast, just for today's podcast this week, we are going to quickly go through it a little bit. So we're not trying to. We do watch both shows. We do enjoy both shows. Well, I enjoy both shows. You know, my co-partner here on the other hand is probably a bit different.
I hate SmackDown.
Yeah. Hulk likes SmackDown, you know, and now I'm going to get Hulk shut up at my door and punch me in the face. But yeah, so we're going to just quickly skim it for this podcast. You know, I'm sorry, I hope this doesn't annoy anyone. So basically, Jimmy Hart comes out and then advertises Hulk Hogan. He comes out for like a minute, plug in the Legends house, and then he goes, all that and the network is coming to you soon, brothers. So he basically plugs the network, saying the network's going to come to us soon, which we know is bullshit because the reports have said the network is either coming at the end of this year or next year. But I think they're maybe trying to get it over that network's coming to the UK because a lot of people do like piracy, the network. You know, there are a lot of people that do get the network in the UK where they're not supposed to. So I think WWE are aware of this.
I am one of those people. I do pay for it, of course, but you know, obviously I whacked in a few fake details, and it's definitely worth it. You know, money.
Yeah, I mean, it's not exactly ripping anyone off because even though the UK folk aren't legally associated, they still are paying money. I mean, you are still paying money to them, aren't you, realistically? So just because it's not officially out in the UK as of yet, it doesn't mean to say, you know, like, oh yeah, because they're still getting money. You know, if you're getting the network for no money, then yeah, that would be a bit of bullshit. But yeah, I think they'll be aware of this, and I think maybe they wanted like someone like Hogan to announce it's coming soon, and maybe it might get a chance of stopping it. I don't know. That's just a guess. Move on. First match was Ziggler versus Batista in an ODQ match. Apparently, Ziggler said on Twitter that Batista was apparently like the weakest link, and he hasn't evolved or changed or anything. And he wanted an ODQ match with him. So this match was rather slow paced. This was kind of horrible. This match was a little bit yes, a little bit no. It was kind of wasn't. It wasn't. Fucking bird, shut up. Sorry, I'm just trying to get him to calm down. It sent most of it out the ring. In fact, the majority of all of this match was spent outside the ring. It was really weird. Not really weird. Basically, it was Batista and Ziggler throwing punches left and right. Hardly any moves really took place. He throws Ziggler into the wall. Batista hits it like a good spine buster inside the ring, and then he takes Ziggler outside the ring and just throws him into the barrier really hard a few times. They end up going over the commentating table. They actually take out Michael Cole for a bit, and I've not seen the unedited version of that, what you did, but yeah, they do end up taking out Michael Cole. Did you see that?
Yeah.
They end up kind of laying on him, and when he gets back up, he says, Xavier goes, "Come on, man," and Cole goes, "Well, I had about 400-pound two men on me, you know," so, which is quite a bit funny.
The unedited version, he actually, when it comes to the next ad break, they're laughing about that. What he just says, like, oh shit, that sounds wrong. I said I had 2 400-pound men on me. Oh god. And JBL says something like, "I bet you're used to that, Cole." You know, just taking the piss out of him. Obviously, but yeah, it was on during a commercial break, so they're just shit talking to each other.
You would have thought they would like mute their headsets while talking about that, in case but it's, just or at least take off their headsets, and then come back, But I suppose they need to hear. Like, it's kind of good to see actually. Before we go on a little bit, it's kind of good to see that Vince McMahon is still involved, like with the product, because apparently he was. During this unedited clip, you could kind of hear that he was still in production table, like talking to them and stuff like that. So even though that Vince is retired or whatever, it's still good to see him still, involved with his company, regardless of it, if he's retired or not. So it's good to. I mean, there's not a lot of fans of that Vince McMahon. I can't say I'm really that one of them. He just obviously lost a lot of money recently, but it's good to me to see him still involved with the project. That's just me. So. So yeah, Ziggler gets a chair, starts hitting Batista with a chair over and over again. Towards the end, Batista sets out the stairs to powerbomb, but Ziggler basically low blows him, blatant low blow, like really good low blow. Yeah. Ziggler hangs Batista's head over the stairs and goes for running Fame so he misses and he lands really awkwardly on his leg. He lands so awkwardly, and it's hard to tell whether he's faking this or not, because he's like, my leg. Batista basically grabs him, throws him in the ring, hits the spear, and then gets the win. So it wasn't a bad match. Again, again, good work from Batista and Ziggler as always. Ziggler again overselling a little bit more, but maybe more what he should do. After the match, Batista power bombs him rather brutally, and then obviously leaves. So again, making a stand, saying that we're Evolution, I'm going to cripple you essentially. Overall, the match was slow paced, kind of boring, a little bit to watch. And it's a shame since both men work really well with each other. So there we go. Bo Dallas promo there saying he should be debating tonight. And I'm pretty sure during the unedited version, Cole kind of takes a little bit of the mick during one of the things that was said during the Bo Dallas during the Bo promo. Sorry, Michelle just did something there that I'm not going to say out loud. It was funny. So I think he does. Yeah. So we move on to the match. I don't know if it was Brie Bella or Nikki Bella. It was one of the Bellas teaming with Eva Marie.
It was
versus the Funkadactyls, and I put the Funkadactyls underneath. Yeah, tag team match. Yeah, it was tag team match. Was it Brie Bella or Nikki Bella? Hello?
I don't know. I can't tell the difference between them.
No.
I think it was Nikki Bella because I think Brie Bella's off TV.
Did this wrestler have breasts or not? Because you can tell the difference in the breasts. You can tell the difference between the Bellas now. If one of them's got big tits, then it's Brie. If they've got small tits, then it's Nikki. So
well, I can't remember because I did my best to
things
when the match was on. I was like, I really need to go for a peanut, or I'll go for a cig, or do something else. And I wait until it was over and came back.
It's this, I don't know, I can't remember. I think it might have been Nikki, I'm not sure, I wasn't paying attention. I wasn't, but we know Summer Rae was the ref. Tony Chibble basically fucked up saying Eva Marie, and he looks around to Michael Cole and goes, and then JBL kind of saying, why the hell is even the commentator? And Cole goes on about, where is Lillian Garcia? Where the hell is Lillian Garcia? So I didn't write anything down, all I know is the Dax was winning with, I think Summer Rae did something, she was being a prick or something, I'm not really too sure. And they both just, I know it's Marie and one of the Bellas were like, what the hell? Why is she doing this? And then they plugged kind of, Summer Rae, not making friends, tuning into Total Divas, like, no, not going to do that. Anyway. So I wasn't really watching. So third match, we finally see Bo Dallas. Bo Dallas is here after about a month of seeing promos, and who does he face? None other than Sin Cara.
It's been like not on TV for God knows how many months.
Yeah, apparently during NXT he did like a leave-in, like because he lost the belt or something. He did like a leave-in speech or something, and he made it like really hilarious. So not really too sure like how he did that. So yeah. Anyway, so now we're going to take a little bit of. We're not going to skim it completely because we're going to take a little bit of time to talk about this Bo Dallas. Now, I like Bo Dallas. He's quite cool. He's alright. He's a good wrestler. And obviously, he's real life brother is Bray Wyatt. Roboda or something. I think it's the real last name. So he is talented. Bo Dallas is talented. He does need a better finisher. He basically did Trish Stratus' Bulldog. But he's a bit, I'm going to use the word odd in the ring. His gimmick is a bit odd in the ring. Because obviously, during these matches, he's quite, because obviously he's doing one of those things where he's one of those people, he's a little bit like Simon Dean, he's a little bit like, well, without the exercise, he's one of those people that think, he's like Bray Wyatt a little bit, but not in a cult leader sort of way. He's the way that believes that he has powerful messages. If you just believe, if you just believe in yourself, you can do this. You're a 400 pound fat man. What if you believe you can get that weight down to 300 pound? Come on, let's hug it out, He's one of those people, he's quite optimistic. He's very optimistic, and this, I don't know, it's just very, I've seen Bo Dallas before and I didn't really like it then. It's not that Bo Dallas can't pull off the gimmick, because he can. I just think overall that it's a bit weird to see. So during the match he's cheering, he's yaying, he goes for a victory lap around the ring. The match isn't too bad, it's quite a short match, because obviously let me just eat the ship. So it wasn't a bad match. Had some good working. Bo ends up hitting some powerful clothesline on Sin Cara as well, which got that hurt. Sin Cara comes back a little bit. They go on about Bo leaving the commentators, and then basically Bo wins the match with basically a jump Bulldog, which was basically kick off 1, kick off 2, and then the Bulldog, which was actually Trish Stratus' move called Stratisfaction, I think. I'm sure she had a move like that. So Bray basically needs a better finisher, realistically. So, but yeah, it was alright. So after the match, he grabs Sin Cara by the hand and holds his arm, saying, "Good match, you know. If well done. Next time, maybe you can be like me if you just believe. Yeah, if you just believe, well done." You know, so he just congratulates him. And you can't see Sin Cara's face because obviously he's in a mask. But if he could, he'd probably be like, "What the fuck?" And he goes for a victory lap outside the ring. So, and then just keeps saying it's bow time. So it's not too bad. It's going to be definitely interesting to see. I mean, he's coming straight away into the match, whereas Adam Rose hasn't yet. So, but it's going to be interesting to see. I'm hoping he's not going to keep squash matching at some point. And I'm hoping he's going to get some. I mean, facing Sin Cara is okay competition, realistically. I mean, it could have been Santino Marella, really, or it could have been someone a bit more low. It could have been Damien Sandow, but I don't know if I'm assuming they're playing him off as a heel because obviously Sin Cara is the face. So, but he's a heel with face elements of being optimistic, so it's hard to really play a heel with an optimistic level because you're there just to go, yeah, we can do it all together, we can do it, but yeah, you're supposed to be hated at the same time, so that's why I find it weird. Maybe that's just me. Yeah. Oh. Anyway, cuts next to Bray Wyatt and his family are in the ring, and they cut, again, a fantastic promo, unlike me as always, yeah. And like me and Jack said earlier, we can't always write down. We do take notes of these Raws and Smackdowns just to keep, because obviously we're not trying to sound like we're talking off a script, you know, but obviously I can't remember, if I watch Raw and Smackdown without taking down notes, I'm not going to remember what's happening, and we wouldn't be doing a podcast, you know, and I'm sure. So I didn't really, again, it's hard to write down a lot of time what Bray Wyatt's saying. I have to pinpoint.
Although I do remember it myself, not what he's saying, he's just like, you know, you will be deserted, John, blah, blah, blah. And then, the usual kind of shtick, like, payback, blah, 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 says this. And then he just starts fucking talking literal gibberish. He just starts going, Gerard, go drop, blah, blah. And he just fucking falls to his knees, like fucking hat falls off and everything. And he's like, he's like fucking starts talking in fucking tongues. It's like, what the fuck? And then he kind of pulls himself back by starting singing. He's got the whole world in his hand. And it's just like, wow, it's like shit. And I never thought a fucking Bray Wyatt promo could like literally shock the shit out of me again. And then there it goes. There she's like, what the hell's going on? Because I've read the theory that his character-wise, he's basically Husky Harris, but he's been possessed by a demon. And I thought, that sounds really stupid and dumb, but I'm guessing that's probably the way they are actually going with it. Now they start talking in tongues and shit.
No, they're not. They're not going to do that, man. They're not going to bring like the name of Husky Harris back into it and like stuff like that. He generally is Bray Wyatt. That he's got a new gimmick now. That's it. He's been doing it so well. Good wrestler, great gimmick. I mean, I now think the Wyatt family are one of the at least top 5 best heels of all time now from this era. Yeah. You know, easily. Yeah. I mean, like, nothing like this has ever really been done before, and you've got the right wrestlers, you've got the sheet masks, the right talented wrestlers, not wrestlers. I mean, you had Nexus, don't get me wrong, I like the Nexus, I've still got a Nexus t-shirt, unfortunately it kind of broke, it kind of separated a little bit, you know what t-shirts do when they lose their like thing, right. You know, I like the Nexus. It was good that Way Battle was leading the Nexus, but what let the Nexus down is because they didn't do that much, and I think the reason that it died so long after it did, because they realised that it wasn't really going anywhere. You know, I mean, there was like 6 of them. I know, I do admit, if the White family was more of them, it probably wouldn't be such of a success, but it's because back then it had Heath Slater, David Otunga and Michael Tarver and stuff like that. I mean, not really okay wrestlers, but not that good to be in it. You know, I mean, look at Heath Slater. Then Heath Slater is an original Nexus member. You know, Heath Slater's like, wow, that's the reason why I want to meet him, because I'd get a Nexus photo printed out and have him sign it, because he was in the original Nexus. And look at him now. Now he's doing 3MB. You know, it's just like. I mean, Nexus was, what was it? Barrett, Michael, David, Gabriel, Slater, and Skip Sheffield, the original 6. And I don't care. Darren Young was part of it, but he was kicked out, and so was Dee Bryan, so I count the 6. But the point is, like, I don't think they're doing like possession, and he's kind of gone from Husky Harris. I don't think WWE are going to say, oh yeah, I was once Husky Harris, and now I went crazy, became a cult leader. I don't think they're going to link Husky Harris's gimmick to him. I mean, was that what you were saying, or was you kind of joking around with that sort of thing?
Well, it's theories I've seen on the internet, because he posted a tweet saying like somebody posted to him like, hey, what happened to Husky Harris? It's like And Bray Wyatt retweeted back himself and said like, Husky Harris, he's a vessel that I use. Well, I was like, oh really? I don't think they're gonna go full on with it. I just think it's been subtly hinted at and shit. Like like an Extreme Rule. After the child singing bit, and he does the Sister Abigail. I read, a fan theory online who said, he's possessed by a demon and shit, because he does the Sister Abigail, and apparently you can audibly hear him go he goes, "Where am I?" And then he looks at the child, with that creepy face, and then and he's like, because they're saying that demon leapt from Bray Wyatt into the child. And then, that's what gave the child the voice. And I was like, like you said, pure fan theory and shit, but I was just like, no, I like the idea that he's just fucking psychologically fucked, rather than, it's a demon possessing him.
I think to a degree it's kind of a little bit what you're saying, because obviously it's kind of going that way, because obviously, we had the child with the demon voice who got the whole, and then Bray look at him and smile, and to say, but I don't know if they're going to do an angle of it, if they're going to do an angle of, this guy, because we haven't had Husky Harris's name mentioned, and usually when a character does two different gimmicks, from another gimmick, they don't usually, that's what their gimmick is. You don't see The Undertaker mention Mark Calloway, and that was one of his gimmicks, or Kane mention Isaac, whatever, when he used to do that dentist, usually when they do a gimmick, Ike Yakim, probably Kane's, oh god, Kane's great. Glenn Jacobs is great as a wrestler, but when he did that dentist thing, probably the worst thing he's ever done, to be honest. But, there we go. That's WWE for you. They make you job, they give you shit things, But I don't think that's what the thing, they don't cross gimmicks with other ones, And I'm pretty sure that tweet by Bray Wyatt was done months ago when someone asked about that.
Oh,
Did
yeah,
you see that recently? Yeah, that was, I'm sure
I know it was done a while ago, right, where are we up to now, sir? We're on to the next match. Was it it was I believe it was Alberto Del Rio and Sheamus, wasn't it? Cesaro and Heyman came out first, and they were on the commentary table, weren't they?
Wasn't it? Yeah, it wasn't originally in the uncut version. They only had one headset down there originally, and it was a clear botch or something. Did that happen, or did they have actually two headsets? Yeah,
on the unedited version, it was because it was an ad break when Cesaro and Heyman came down to do commentary, And there's only one chair there, and then they eventually push another chair over for Cesaro and shit, and then eventually get the headsets on the side.
Oh, what a fail! So we've gone so off track on this. This is probably the longest podcast we've done, but fuck it. If you can't do freelance talking about wrestling, you don't want to hear us basically read from a teleprompter all the time, you know what I mean? So we said we move on to Del Rio versus Sheamus, and they won commentary, and this was actually not a bad match, ironically. This was not a bad match. This match starts off well. It wasn't a bad match at all. Has some good spots back and forth, showing that Del Rio can do it. It's a little bit shown on the commentary table. Again, Heyman mentioning about his streak, and Cesaro talking in different languages, and Michael Cole not really understanding him, and more, more banter like that. Sheamus dominates most of the match. And then Del Rio comes, hits the armbar, but Sheamus gets out of it, goes up to the ropes. As soon as Sheamus gets up, Cesaro comes up, but Sheamus obviously knocks Cesaro down. Sheamus goes for the bro kick, but obviously Cesaro pulls out Sheamus and basically calls the match to a DQ. Then basically leading to... Which looked like he did that, because Michael Cole mentioned this. He threw him back into the stairs, and you can see Sheamus' head crack off the post, and then off the stairs as well. So after he does that, picks him up, neutralizer on the floor. So again, promoting more Sheamus versus Fink. I'm assuming that this is going to lead to payback as well. It might do, maybe for the title, may not do, because obviously Sheamus is going to want payback on Cesaro for doing this sort of thing. So it's only is it next week? Is it next week?
It'll be a week today, so next Sunday.
Next Sunday, yeah. So when? So is it like the 7th of June? Is it? Is that when it's? No, it's the 1st of June, isn't it? Yeah, 1st of June. So it's literally in a week's time. So obviously we still got Raw and Smackdown to go before that. So yeah, but that could work. And then he kind of grabs his hand and kind of shakes it. Oh, I'm shaking your hand, Sheamus. Which he did it for too long. Kind of looks like he was tossing him off at some point. Obviously, I'm kidding, but obviously, he kind of just shakes his hand because he refused to shake his hand on Raw and stuff like that. So, but yeah, good put over work. That really was. So next we see Vicky in the ring, Vicky Guerrero in the ring, and my God, she goes on about. Excuse me, I don't think she actually says that.
No, she does. That's literally the first two things she says. She goes, excuse me, and then she says it again.
Oh, I didn't see that. I didn't. Maybe the TV version cut out when she said "excuse me." I just saw her in the ring. Maybe I wasn't paying attention. I don't know. So yeah, Vicky's in the ring and she goes on about basically her not being so bland and that she has a party side and like all the other stuff. And you can tell right away what's going to happen here. You can tell instantly what happens going to here. So it's good. So she says, "Welcome, Adam Rose." And Adam Rose comes out, not big as pop as he got on Raw, but I don't know if that was due to editing work or not, because you watched a different version to me, but apparently people who were at SmackDown said, he did get a little bit lower, less the same pop that he got on Raw, but people were still cheering, people still going, do. Yeah. I think what people don't realise is that Adam Rose's song starts with words before going into do, so people are going, do, why it's not even part of the song, so I think you need to learn that happens later on. So Adam Rose comes to the ring and says, it's good to be here, stuff, and then ends up going, well, I don't know what you are, Vicky. Are you a lemon or a rosebud? And obviously, so she's a lemon, and then we go, yay! And then Vicky's like, I'm not a lemon. So she goes to leave the ring. He goes to give, and you can tell what was going to. I actually read
I could totally see it coming a mile away. Just like, she's going to fall off onto his entourage.
So he goes to give her the thing while she's outside the ring. She falls, basically lands on his group of dancers, and basically they start carrying her around the ring and start partying or whatever. And when he gets into the ring, he goes, "Don't be a lemon, crowd do be a rosebud. It's party time all the time." So dancers are carrying Vicky. It was quite funny to watch actually. She was saying, "Get off me," and stuff like that. So they take her around the ring and up the thing. And JBL on the commentary table, it says something funny during this match. He goes, "There was this guy in a straitjacket behind the Penguin." I don't know, man. That just tickled me really, because there is actually a guy in a straitjacket.
Oh yeah.
Which is weird because he's obviously dancing around. So what if he was to fall? He'd fall like straight on his. He'd fall straight on his face, wouldn't he? Really? So you've got loads of people there, man. Have you actually seen how many people are in there? They got a bunny, a straitjacket, a burger, 2 Captain Americas. A guy that's wearing like a random suit. They just basically get something from the 80s and sling it all together, and boom, you've got Adam Rose's dancers. So main event time. Main event of SmackDown. It obviously was the Usos versus Eric Rowan. There was a promo with the Usos and John Cena before this, and him beating their chest, going,
yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, I think they were copying fucking Wolf of Wall Street, because there's a scene in that, where like. I'll try to not be spoilerific about Wolf of Wall Street, but there's one scene where like Matthew McConaughey apparently starts doing that randomly, and he beats his chest and like humming and shit, and then that kind of goes on throughout the film and shit.
Oh, maybe because they did it last week. Yes, I've not seen the Wolf of Wall Street, but I've heard apparently it's one of the best, could be one of the best movies ever made. Would you agree with that?
It's a fantastic film, but one of the best films ever made. I don't know, but it is.
Well, not ever made, but it would be in the lines of one of those, say, in the lines of top 5. It's in the line of fantastic films, really well good. Apparently, like Jonah Hill.
Jonah Hill surprisingly does an insanely good turn and shit. Does a good first turn. Anyway,
exactly.
I'll stop going on about it, but you know what I mean. That's
where we think the chest beating may have come from. It could do. It might. I'm just going to watch Wolf of Wall Street now. I think, he was right. He was right. So we see the match. We see obviously Bray Wyatt outside and John Cena outside the ring. Bray Wyatt was wearing a very different T-shirt this week. He was wearing a grey with black lines on it. It didn't look very like his usual T-shirts. He was wearing a very odd sort of like the sort of T-shirt you wore if you're depressed and you want to go out in a Hawaiian shirt. You'd probably be wearing that T-shirt, that Hawaiian shirt. Very weird. Or maybe it's just me. I've not seen a lot of Hawaiian shirts in my life until I sort of saw Bray Wyatt. So this was a very good match. Of course, it would be Usos and Luke and Eric. We got obviously 4 very talented men, both flinging moves off back each other. Skill off the talent, solid work after solid work. It was just good. I would like to have seen this in like face to face, but I couldn't. So it was a bit slow to start, obviously, because it was then building up the crowd, and the camera was on Cena and Wyatt a bit at the time as well. Not much to really say about this match, to be honest. It was just pretty much just your normal solid tag team match, if I'm being honest. So I can't pin out points. It was just basically it was a good match, good back and forward match. It was the Usos dominated, then the Wyatts and the Usos. It was a really good match. I hope to see more of it, because you watch it and you see that's what wrestling is about, good high flying spots. And I think isn't this where Luke Harper does the Hurricane Rana? Is it during this match, or was it another time? On Raw he does Hurricane Rana, okay, I wasn't too sure. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so yeah. Work well. They work well with each other. That's all I can really say, unfortunately. Usos dominated the start, and then the Wyatts came back. Towards the end, the Usos came back again. They hit super kicks on both of them, taking out Eric Rowan as well. They do some powerful moves on the Wyatt. Jey Uso basically cleans house, essentially. Takes out Luke, takes out Eric, and everything like that. He goes for the Uso splash. But of course, Bray Wyatt, he's thinking, alright, my team's getting dominated here, comes up and pushes Jay off the turnbuckle, and then the referee goes, oh my god, ding ding ding, so DQ, obviously. John Cena gets in the ring, and it's ready for Bray Wyatt, says, come on Bray, come on, you want me? But, Bray's a little bit, no, we're gonna wait to pay back, I can't touch you. He gets out the ring, puts the hat back on, say, we'll duke it, and it's doing the typical wrestling thing, isn't it? They've got a big match coming up. They won't let the two competitors touch each other until then. Oh, that sounded wrong. They won't. So yeah, and that was it. That was Raw and SmackDown in London this week. I attended one of them and didn't attend SmackDown, but yeah, overall it was alright. Raw was good. SmackDown again, a little bit disappointing, a little bit okay. I mean, SmackDown has its ups and its downs, really, doesn't it, when it comes to SmackDown? So. Hang on, dude, sorry, you sound really far away from the microphone a minute.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now, yeah. Sorry. Probably because
no, it's just like last week, we seem to be having technical difficulties.
Yeah, no, it's probably when you would be in the chest or something, and maybe you probably flip the mic on. So it's fine. So yeah, it's actually gone over 2 hours. Well, it probably might reach 2 hours with the editing. It might reach 2 hours. But yeah, we went a little bit long today, but we did actually. That's what she said. But I mean, we kind of a lot of freelance talking, which I think we should do more of in podcasts. Give us a like if you like the freelance talking, or just a like in general if you enjoyed it. If you didn't enjoy it, you didn't enjoy it. Whatever, like I said on each podcast, we're just two guys talking about wrestling, and we're hoping to make more friends and more interested from doing stuff like this. Like I said again before, and I'm going to keep being this, we're not the best podcast givers all the time, Me and Miss Jack here wasn't, we're not professionals. We don't use professional equipment. I just use this headset. He uses his. We do have problems. We don't use the big snowball microphones. We don't sit in a studio. We don't, we don't do things. We don't do things like that. But we try and get the best quality out. We do. Thingy has a good editing program, which is cool. But even if we didn't, yeah. So we will. We'll leave it here, and we will see you guys next week. Where obviously, I think WWE will be out of the UK, but then they'll be back in America. Where we will see Daniel Bryan. Will he be giving over the WWE titles, and something happens on SmackDown? I don't know. And then and then that following week, the next week after that, we will be covering Payback as well. Because I don't know about you, Payback does actually look quite good. So
it's not good to look.
Yeah, so tune in again next week to hear our lovely voices, and we'll see you then.
Right, goodbye.
Every night we lay our heads down to dream And that's when our minds really start to tick. We start remembering all these things, these horrible things, these travesties that have happened to us in our lives. But in our dreams, we're superheroes. And in our dreams, we can fix everything. You stand for nothing, she said. Bray Wyatt, the first time that I ever looked inside of your eyes, I knew there was something inside of you. I knew that you were evil. I'm proud to say that right now somewhere that teacher lady is rotting inside of some retirement home filled up with all of her life's regrets. But I, Bray Wyatt, stand here in front of you today as a conqueror, as a revolutionary, as the man of 1,000 troops, and I say, this teacher lady, look at me now. I got the whole damn world in my hands.
Chanting yes, because Daniel Bryan underwent successful neck surgery this past Thursday. I mean, Daniel truly has an incredible story, doesn't he? At WrestleMania, he became the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, and then he went on to marry Brie Bella. Part 1 of the wedding will actually air this Sunday on Total Divas.
Justin Roberts. Justin Roberts.
Behind. Because that looks like to me, is evolution might be afraid of the shield not holding because of payback. We want an evolution that wants to fight. This 20-on-3 crap. This, hey, is this your brand of justice?
9 stitches. And the question remains from last week, is that all you got? Is that your best shot? Because if it is, you have so many problems. You keep trying to knock us down and we keep standing tall. And we're never gonna stop coming for you.
Evolution, that's what you don't understand. You don't get it, you keep trying. You try to attack us when we're down, you try to put us down, try to keep us out. Example, 2 weeks ago on SmackDown, my match with...
Michigan, waiting to Mr. Triple H. Now, I am the special guest ring announcer, but as COO of the WWE, it is my job to ensure that all of these matches are as big as possible. That is why right now, I am adding a special guest timekeeper to this match as well. Please help me welcome him now, Randy Orton. And now, please everyone help me welcome your opponent, representing Evolution, the Animal Batista!
Approaching the ring, the team of Leila and Go.
by storm.
Hello, Renee. Hello, London. Where's my cheeseburger? Where's my cheeseburger? Renee, his name's Ethan. His name's Ethan. He's got sesame seeds on his buns. Gonna take him to the doctor next week and we'll get it looked at. Should all work out. I think I have a nurse. Do I have a nurse? You could be his nurse, all right? You be his nurse. Anything else?
Yeah, what I want to know is what does it mean to be a rosebud?
Well, it's really, really important. What it means is to not be a lemon. Exactly, they've got it.
But since you've come to WWE,
you were saying.
okay, what I need to know is that since you've been here in WWE, you've been targeting Jack Swagger and Zeb Colter.
Well, targeting's a really strong word. It's a very strong word. I don't think I've been targeting them so much. I just want Jackie Boy and Zebby to have a little fun. I want them to loosen up. Stop being such bitter little lemons. Stop being such grumpy pantsers. Where's my bunny? Bunny, show Renee some of your moves. Show Renee your moves.